Welcome to Mind Over Metal Podcast. Heavy metal and hard rock news, discussion and reviews. Alright everybody, what's up? It's Mac here, Mind Over Metal Podcast, and you're listening to episode 5. And I'm joined today by my good friend and co-host, DJ Metal Mike. What's up, Mike?
Hey brother, what's going on? And greetings and salutations to all my metalheads, fellow metalheads, headbangers and metal maidens, all the fine listeners of this podcast and of thatmetalstation.com. Awesome. Thanks for having us, J-Mac. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. Look, it's good to have you back. We had a week off last week, and you weren't with us the week before, but as I announced, you are the permanent co-host here on Mind Over Metal. So, you look great to have you, brother.
Hey, I'm honored. I mean, really, I'm from my heart, man. I'm honored that you would have me. I'm honored to be a part of this, man, and again, honored to be part of that metalstation.com. We're going to be pushing the station a lot, folks, because to us, this
better
podcast
get used to
is
it,
just
guys.
an extension. Yeah, this is just an extension of what we do at that metal station, and you really need to check out our live shows and our live DJs.
Yep.
DJs, they do an amazing job, man. Anyway,
Absolutely.
So, how have you been, bro?
I've been good. Been fucking crazy at work all week, the last couple of weeks. Juggling that. The wife is getting ready to have her third child, so it's all go here in the Mac house. So, but come here. I'm sure a lot of the listeners are aware, Mike, you've had a tough couple of weeks with the loss of your mother. But I just want to touch on that at the start of the show here and just say, look, condolences, and we're here for you.
And I appreciate that, brother. In fact, just the outpouring I had on like Facebook alone, and I know you're a lot like me in this aspect, DJ Mac. I'm not a guy who really like post my feelings or kind of day I'm having on Facebook. I very rarely do I use. Mainly, I use Facebook to push the station and the shows and my love of hard rock and metal and just music in general.
Yep.
Very rarely do I ever post anything personal because, like I said, I just don't understand these people that are like, I mean, that's cool if you want to do it, but the ones that are like, well, I had a pineapple ice cream. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't understand why. Just when people post shit like that, I don't really. I mean, not that I care. It's your wall, your face. You can post whatever the fuck you want. Yep. I'm not going to say anything about it, but I'm just kind of like, man, like I don't. But with my mother and what was going on with her, I did do that mainly because I just got tired of everybody contacting me, even though I know they mean well, and I appreciate all the well wishes and the prayers and the positive energy that everybody sent to my mother and my family during this time. I want everybody to know I really, really appreciate it. All the listeners. I mean, I literally had listeners contacting me, dude, through Facebook Messenger, giving me their phone number, and telling me, hey, if you need anything, let me know. Terry Samuels, for one, was one that did that. And I really appreciate you, Terry, for doing that.
That's awesome.
Give you a shout out. When I get back on the air, which maybe this week, might not be, there's some fucked up shit going on with my job, too, that I just don't feel like talking about right now because it pisses me off. But, I want to give her a shout out as well. And just everybody. I mean, Scott, he made that banner from Mom. Everybody at the station, my co-workers at Caseyville Nursing Rehab, everyone have been amazing. And like I said, I did give updates mainly because I didn't want to have to type the same fucking thing over and over and over. So to me, that's one thing that's kind of cool about Facebook. It was a way to let everybody know that cared enough to know what was going on. And yeah, just everybody, I truly appreciate it. And when everybody commented, I made it a point to personally thank every one of them, which took me fucking hours, but I didn't care.
Imagine.
I didn't care. It was like, they took enough time to give me their condolences, or even before that, when, hey man, prayers, positive energy, well wishes, whatever it is your higher power is. And that's something that I've just kind of come to the conclusion. I'm not a real religious guy, to be honest with you, Quite honestly, I'm kind of like the Ozzy Osbourne song. I don't know. I don't know what's out there. I don't know what to believe in. I'm not saying I'm a full-blown atheist. I'm not. I'm just kind of like, I'm not arrogant enough to tell other people what is not real, or what does exist and what doesn't exist. And no matter how you look at it, Mac, whether she's, with God and Jesus, or God and Moses, or God and Muhammad, or fucking Buddha, or Krishna, or another plane of existence, or if it's just like turning off your computer and it's done. No matter how you look at it, my mother is better off. She's not suffering anymore.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm hurting. Big part of my heart is missing, but at the same time, she's at peace. And
absolutely.
I'm relieved for that, because seeing her go through what she went through, I'm not going to go into detail because it's pretty gnarly, was probably the hardest fucking thing I've ever had to do in my life. It's horrible. So, Mom, I love you. Rest in peace, and I'll see you on the other side, hopefully. Absolutely. If there is another side. So anyway, and again, James, thank you too, man, because, I want everybody to know Mac was, every day, hey bro, how you doing? How's your mom? Is there anything I can do? It meant the world to me, Mac, so thank you.
No, well, look, sometimes people can get comfort from that too. And we all genuinely cared about you, Mike, and we cared about your mum. And look, it's, as you said, it is a bit of closure for you guys now. But just know that, we're all here for you. And, may she rest in peace.
Thank you, brother.
No problem. So, but yeah, a couple of things, Mike, just talk about maybe before we get into it. We are reviewing an album this week. Yeah, the website, well, the podcast in general has been doing really, really well. The numbers are way more than what I ever thought we do. It's growing. We're on the right track. But I just want to talk about the website, mindovermetalpodcast.com. Check it out. We now have an Amazon link. Now, I know people may think we're whoring ourselves out, but it's just a way to get a little bit of revenue back in. You can get whatever shit you want to get. Doesn't cost you a cent more. We just get a little kickback on it. But if you go to the webpage and scroll down, you'll see the link. So check that out. And we've also got some killer merch that's just gone live yesterday, I believe it was. So check it out. The link's on the website. And you can get fucking everything. You can get t-shirts, laptop cases, phone covers, banners, there's a whole load of shit there, so check it out. But once again, that's mindovermetalpodcast.com. But we're really happy with the way the podcast has been performing, ain't we, Mike?
Oh, totally. Just blown away. Hell, Mac, when you started on your own, because keep in mind, I just joined. You've been doing this for a little while now, a few episodes. You were on your own. Yeah,
just a couple of episodes before you came.
Yeah, your numbers were pretty goddamn good on your own, dude. I was like, yeah, Mac, proud of you, man. And I also want to point out that you can listen to this podcast through many avenues. I know iTunes, Spreaker, right?
Yep.
And Podcast
Addict.
And Podcast Addict. And I'm the one that found it, because you were talking about in the last episode how surprised you were. Because I looked you up, and there you were, right there. And is there anything else?
SoundCloud. TuneIn. The TuneIn app. We're on there. Oh man, I've fucking whored us out everywhere. But
I know you do, dude. You're like a master at it, man. You are a pimp master, my brother. Yeah. And like I said, another thing, also make sure you check out thatmetalstation.com, man. Because Mac has a live show every fucking Wednesday, I believe, from 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time?
Yep.
Which would be in your time,
10 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Right on, so that's late night show. Yep. So if you're on that side of the world, man, you want to listen to some fucking killer fucking metal all out in the late nights, listen to DJ Mac. This guy delivers, man. And I'm not just saying this because he's my podcast partner. I've followed Mac since he first started on the station, man. And like I said, I couldn't be prouder of you, brother. Of all our
Cheers.
You know, so... and of course, there's a little-known show called the Metal Mike Show on Friday nights.
Killer fucking show.
Thank you, brother. And then with my co-host Dirty Dave, want to give him a shout out. And then, of course, there's also the Nights at the Turntable on Sundays I do with DJ Def Jeff, DJ Guilty, and DJ Bushy. Sometimes I don't know. That's kind of in the air. And then of course my nephew. Got to plug him, man. DJ Jake. Every fucking Sunday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, man. The Crusaders Metal Show. And when I think of it, maybe toward the end of the show, we'll plug all the other
of course,
shows.
Yeah, I'm going to slip in the bumpers so everyone can hear it, check it out, and remember the times.
We got some great DJs, man. I mean, all of them are great.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, it's a killer fucking station.
Yeah, check us out, man. Like, we're really growing. I mean, we've got to the point now where we've got DJs just about every night of the week, and more than one. And from what I understand, from what Scott Green, who is the founder of the station, co-owner, I became co-owner a few months ago. We've got more coming, so we're definitely growing, man. Mm-hmm. So check us out. Check us out, definitely.
Yep, definitely. Thatmetalstation.com. Check it out. There's also a killer fucking app, iPhone and Android. Just go into your respective app stores, thatmetalstation.com. No excuses. And on the app, you can listen and get into the chat room as well. Really fucking cool.
And also make sure that you check out the greatest podcast ever.
Yep.
Better than ours, even. And we're pretty goddamn good, I think.
Yeah, we're nipping at their heels.
Yeah, we're that's the Rock and Metal Combat podcast with our very own Dr. Fuck, a.k.a. Ralph Vieira, lead singer of Thrash or Die, Combat, and Ripjaw, and I don't know how many other projects.
And Psycho Wrath is a new one, a new band they have. Really? Yeah.
Man, Ralph has got to be like the busiest dude I know. I don't know how he does it, and that's why it kind of inspires me. Well, you know, I'm going to do this podcast. I'm going to do 2 radio shows. I'm going to go to school and get my RN. I'm gonna, I'm even going to do it when things settle down. Join Psycho Sin's podcast as well. Mm-hmm. It's another DJ of ours. There's the Psycho Sin Project, and that's on Sundays too, I believe.
Yep.
I remember the time. And then there's the Psycho Sin.
It's after the Nights of the Turntable, so 5.
Yeah, he comes on after us.
3.
So there you go.
3 p.m.
Yeah, I think he's like 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
3 to 6.
3 to 6. That's right. Yeah, I was wrong about Kane. Kane is 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It's 5 to 8 where I'm at because I live in smack dab middle of the United States of America. Anyway, I'm like I said, I'm just really thrilled to be a part of that metal station, and really I just want to thank Scott Green and once again Ralph Vieira and his awesome co-host, the Ito of alcohol himself, DJ Wadzilla, a.k.a. Ian Wadley. Mm-hmm. At their podcast, man. It is what I love about those guys is they just don't flat give a fuck.
Oh, they just don't give a flying fuck. Yeah.
They don't care. I mean, they just tell you how they feel, and they don't. And I love that about them. And it's like I don't want to be a copy of those guys. But one thing they do that will carry on with this podcast is me and Mac are going to tell you how we feel. There ain't going to be bullshit. Because that's just the kind of guys we are, and that's probably why the Rock and Metal Combat podcast appeals to us so much. So I love those guys. There's some other good podcasts out there too. Don't get me wrong, but that's my personal favorite.
Yeah,
so
mine also I love the classic metal show.
That's a good one too, man. I've listened to them. Yeah, and I've listened to of course, Decibel Geek, Chris Simsack and Aaron Camaro do a great job. Podkiss, Ken Mills and his crew.
The Podfather.
I love Ken Mills' Gene Simmons impression.
Oh,
it's dead on.
Yeah. If you didn't know, you'd think it was Gene. It's that close.
Dude. That whole "you're a powerful and attractive man" it just fucking kills me every time I hear it. I fucking die laughing. I'm like, holy shit, it sounds just like Gene, man. But and of course, another podcast I love. I don't know, and it's a KISS podcast, and that's History Science Theater, Canada. Those guys are fucking hilarious, Mac. So if you ever get a chance,
I actually haven't checked that one out yet.
Oh, they're funny.
Yeah,
because they're kind of like, they kind of remind me of the Ralph and Ian. There are three guys. It's Adam, Dez, and Lee. Yeah, Adam, Dez, and Lee. And they don't give a fly. They will tell you exactly what they think, man.
Cool.
No full bar. There was one episode where this guy was kind of contradicting. They were talking about Crazy Nights and that Fraley's comment, which was a better album. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Lee was like, well, I don't know. And Dez was like, oh, come on, Lee. You're going to tell me you're going to pick fucking Turn on the Night over Stranger in a Strange Land or whatever fucking song it was. I can't remember what song it was. Oh, it was so fucking funny, man. I just cracked my ass up.
It's funny, actually, that you mentioned History Science Theater, because just before we came on to do this episode, I was on Facebook, and their Facebook page came up as a suggestion. So I was like, oh yeah, I've heard of that show, but I've never listened to it. So I like the Facebook page, and I'm going to download a couple of episodes onto my phone tomorrow for the journey to work.
Check them out, brother. I definitely recommend Mac. I think they're a good podcast, man. Awesome. They have the DJ Metal Mike seal of approval. Not that they need my seal of approval to get through Mike. They're doing just fine on their own, but a damn good podcast.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to check that shit out tomorrow. Cool. Now, speaking of iTunes and all that stuff, I actually have a couple of iTunes reviews, and I'm going to read them out. So, everybody, if you listen to us via iTunes, just go on, leave us a review. I'm not going to be looking for a 5-star review. Whatever you think we deserve, give it to us, and I'll read it out on air. Even if it's a fucking terrible one, I'll read it out in air. So, have a couple here, and I'll jump into them here. So first one up is from JHead78, and it's a 5-star review with the title "Only 3 episodes and I am hooked." So pretty good fucking headline. Goes on to say, listen to the podcast from the first episode, really well put together, and I love the host's accent. Made for the mic. Can't wait to hear more reviews, some classic albums. Definitely one to subscribe to. So thank you very much, J-Head. Much appreciated. So that is the first one. That's pretty good, isn't it?
And I think that's a testament to you, Mac, because after all, that was just 3 episodes in. I was only on the last episode, so that's a big compliment to what you were doing before I even started, brother. So
yeah. I only discovered that this week. I only checked 4 iTunes reviews this week, so that was left a couple of weeks ago.
Sweet.
So 2 more. So 3 reviews in 4 or 5 weeks. Pretty good. This is another 5-star review, and the header is "Not enough podcasts like this," and it's by Fantasy Baller 9000. He goes on to say, I love metal and feel it's really underrepresented in the podcast world. Came across Mind Over Metal on Twitter, and I'm freaking hooked. So good. So that's fucking killer.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. That was Fantasy Baller 9000. So really appreciate that. And then lastly, this is a 3-star review, and it says, good but needs more energy, and it's by that one guy, Nick. And he goes on to say, as a fellow metalhead, nothing gets me amped up more than good metal music. I love listening to music with folks and hearing what they think about it. Your words are descriptive, accent is awesome, but bring your energy up to to match the music you are covering. Get listeners as amped up about the music as you are. Keep it up. Good fucking review. I'm happy with that.
Good fucking review, man. Yeah. And I'm going to assume they were talking about you in the accent, brother.
Yeah. Well,
even though I think
I'm just looking at the date, and that 3-star review was actually the first review we got.
Right on, dude. Right on. Well, like I said, a lot of that's a testament to you, man. Like, I was very impressed with you when you were doing it on your own, because you're a DJ for that metal station, and I know you fly solo with that. And
yeah,
doing a radio show solo is even challenging. I mean, I've done it, and every once in a while I don't mind doing it. I kind of like flexing those muscles, as I've said before, but it helps having a co-host. But a podcast, doing it on your own, I tip my fucking hat to you, dude. I give you the fucking devil horns to loot, because I'm telling you right now, I don't know if I could do a podcast by myself, man.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. It was I didn't like. Yeah, I didn't like it.
Right. But you're brave enough to go out there and put yourself out there, man. And I fucking salute you, dude. I commend you, brother.
Oh, cheers.
Because that takes a lot of balls. That takes guts, man.
Yeah, and, I'm not a fan of doing the solo podcast, to be honest. So when I knew you were happy to come on board, that's why I was so fucking happy.
Oh, yeah, man. Like I said, I think that if listeners want energy, believe me, I'll bring plenty of that.
Oh, you have that in spades.
Yeah, I'm tweaked, man.
Nice. Well, that's the iTunes reviews. So thanks everyone who left a review. And I know there's something about countries, different countries on iTunes. You can't always see them, but I found out that there's a way, if you go scroll down to the bottom of the page and you click the flag, you can change. So far I've only checked like Ireland, obviously, UK, US. So like the reviews that we got there came from them countries. But like there's a heap of other different iTunes to go into. But I mean, it's going to be hard to check them all. So if a listener does leave an iTunes review, shoot us a message, Mike or myself, and let us know what country you're in, and we'll check it out and we'll read it out on air. Because I was looking back on the stats, and we have listeners in Brazil, Chile, Australia, New Zealand, Russia, Thailand. So I mean, they're all over the fucking place. So if any of you guys leave a review, we mightn't see it unless we know it's there, so we can look for it. So just shoot Mike or myself a message, and we'll dig it up.
That's awesome, and that's great that you can tell, because it's one of the things, like with that metal station, the program we use, Sam, it tell you how many viewers that you have, but it only tells you how many viewers on one stream, and we use more than one stream. Yeah. So honestly, I think we have a hell of a lot more listeners.
We could have 4 to 5 times more than what we know.
Right.
Because of all the other different formats that people tune in.
Right.
And we don't get stats from all those different places.
Exactly. And I'm telling you, Mac, I've had people that give me friend requests from fucking Japan and places like that, where I'm like, whoa. Yeah. And they're a fan of the station, so... Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's very humbling. It's very awesome. Yep. And, fucking right, man. And that's cool. People in Brazil. Come on.
It's fucking...
It's tourist stomping grounds. Fucking A, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, the stats that I get from the program that we use, it's second to none. It breaks it down. It even breaks it down, tells you what device that people are listening to. Be it an iPhone, computer, iPad. It throws stats at you, which is great. You can really get an insight into how the show's performing, and where people are fucking listening to it.
Awesome. That's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's killer. So, iTunes, leave us a review, and we'll read it out on air. And also check out the website, and if you want to get some shit on Amazon, may as well, do it through our link. You'll see it on the webpage. So, Mike, do you want to get into a little bit of news before we get into the review?
By all means.
Yeah, I just a couple of things that I found here I thought were interesting. We'll not waste too much time on it. We'll get jumped in to the review, because we are reviewing the Great Southern Trendkill. So I'm fucking excited to get into it, and I know you are. So we'll not delay.
All right, brother, let's do this.
Awesome, right. Rudy Sarzo joins new thrash band featuring ex-Anthrax guitarist Dan Spitz and former Journey drummer Dean Castronovo. Did you see this, Mike?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, this sounds fucking good. It goes on to say, legendary bass player Rudy Sarzo has joined the new thrash band launched by former Anthrax guitarist Dan Spitz and ex-Journey drummer Dean Castronovo. That sounds like some fucking lineup.
Fucking right.
Yeah.
What? If you know this about Dean, DJ Mack, but he also played with Ozzy too for a short time.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he's on Osmosis.
Yeah, he played. What was it, around 95, 96?
Yeah. He was with Ozzy. Like I said, it wasn't. He recorded Osmosis. He was also in Geezer Butler's band, GZR, the super, kind of the project he did with Bert C. Bell from Fear Factory.
Yeah, I fucking love that band.
Really damn good. If I remember right, I think he got in trouble a year or so ago. So
yeah, he was with Journey. He was drumming for Journey for years.
Kind of thing. But hopefully he set his demons aside and whatever that's all going on. Because I'm not condoning spousal abuse at all. So let me throw that out there. But, a lot of times you only get one side of the story. We don't know for sure what happened, what's going on. I mean, I've seen some horror stories where I've seen literally women who have deliberately beat themselves and then told the guy, well, I'm going to tell him you did this.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying that's what happened to Dean. I don't know what happened, but all I'm saying is not everything's always what it appears to be, man.
Yeah. Well, Joe, Dean done a great interview with Mitch LaFawn maybe a month or so back, and he basically came totally clean on the interview, held his hands up, said he was wrong. He's gone in to rehab, get all the help he needs. I mean, religion seems to be his crux, and that's what he's using to get through it. He seems to be in a great place. I love Dean Castronovo. I think he's an amazing drummer, and he is a fucking amazing singer. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Mike, but I love Journey, and he drummed with Journey for years. But did you ever see him sing some of those Journey songs?
No, I have not.
If you close your eyes, okay, people think that the current singer Arnel Pineda or whatever he's called sounds like Steve Perry. Well, there's a video on YouTube of Dean drumming and singing faithfully, and holy fuck, man, he if you close your eyes, you'd think it was Steve Perry. I don't know why he isn't the singer in Journey. He's that fucking good, but he's an amazing singer.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
Check it out.
I didn't know that. I'll have to check that out, man. That's
check that shit out.
That's awesome. I mean, I know that, and also just Dan Spitz and Rudy Sarzo. That alone, right there, is enough to tell me. I love Rudy Sarzo, man. Mm-hmm. For my money, I know he didn't record on Diary and Blizzard. It was Bob Daisley and Lee Kerslake, respectively.
Mm-hmm.
But fuck, man, I think Rudy Sarzo and Tommy Aldridge was by far the best fucking rhythm section the Ozman ever had. That's just my humble opinion, folks. Yep. God damn, they were fucking great. With Randy,
they were killer.
Oh, fuck, man. I would have given anything to see those concerts.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking amazing.
I mean, oh, fuck. But yeah, I'm stoked, man. Just like I'm stoked that Zach's back with Ozzy. I think that's fucking amazing.
That's killer.
And then I'm gonna see Zach on the 28th of this month, man. He's doing Zach Sabbath, which is nothing but Sabbath covers, and I think that's fucking awesome. I love his take on those songs, and I can't fucking wait, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, anybody is worthy of carrying on the legacy of Black Sabbath. It's Zach fucking Wild, man.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, we discussed that in the last episode about Zach and Ozzy getting back together. A lot of excitement on the web.
I was going to ask you a quick question, Mac. Now, does this band, this thrash band, does it have a name?
No, it doesn't have a name yet, and it actually goes on to say it was during an appearance on Talking Bollocks, a monthly metal podcast hosted by Acid Rain frontman turned comedian Howard H. Smith. I don't know that guy. It says Spitz stated about his new band, "We have a singer, I just can't say who it is yet, but it's pretty monumental. It's killer, and it's not a project, it's a band, and of course Dean is one of the world's most incredible drummers," blah blah blah. He just goes on to lick Dean's ass there, deservedly. But they have no name, they have a singer, but they're not releasing it yet. But I'm sure that'll come soon.
That's so fucking cool, dude.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
You've got Rudy Sarzo, Dan Spitz, Dean Castronovo. I'm pretty sure they're not going to pick, some guy out of a bar or out of the street. I'm sure
I don't think they're going to get the scener from Scab Rat. Let's just put it.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be somebody fucking worthy. So no, that's very exciting. It just seen that today, and I thought, I'm going to bring that to the table to the show. So,
I'm glad you did.
Yeah,
I didn't even know about it, brother. So thank you.
Awesome.
That's fucking amazing news. Like, I'm stoked. I'm really interested in what that's going to be like.
Yeah, I'm
a huge Anthrax fan, especially the early stuff.
Yeah,
love Dan Spitz. Think he's a great guitar player. So, yeah, him and Rudy Sarzo, and then you got Dean Castronovo. Fuck, man, I'm there.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. Cool. Right, next story is my boy Axl Rose joins Billy Joel for a cover of AC/DC's Highway to Hell and that other song, Big Shot, song of Billy's, at Dodger Stadium. Now, did you hear this?
Yeah, well, you sent me the video clip, and I'd seen like another one too. And, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. The audio quality could have been better, but I don't blame Axl or Billy for that. I think it's just it is what it is. A lot of times people record these things on the phones. Sometimes they sound pretty decent. Sometimes they sound like dog shit. It's not the band's fault. This one was like, it just sounded muffled to me.
Yeah, it was like it was recorded on a fucking potato. The quality just wasn't great.
Like, I'm listening to it under a tunnel, like a tunnel that you drive under when you're on the highway. It kind of had that sound to it. But I mean, Axl sounded good. He sounded like Axl. Billy, I mean, I know he's not metal, but I like Billy Joel, man. I don't like everything the guy ever did, but I think he's a great piano player and a man. Like especially some of his late '70s, '80s output was fucking great.
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah, I was excited to see this because it's 2 weeks before I'm due to see Axl.
Right.
Now, Axl, over the years, is notorious for whenever he comes off tour on a break and then comes back, he sounds like shit. So I seen it and I was like, I have to see what he sounds like. Now, he covered Highway to Hell. I thought he'd done really well on that. Voice sounded good, so I'm happy for the upcoming show. But when I listened to Big Shot, I thought his voice sounded good, but I thought he was slightly off time. But
he was.
Yeah. Do you hear that as well?
Yeah, I did notice that. Notice that. It was like him and Billy weren't quite in sync.
Yeah.
But he didn't sound bad. Like, I didn't go, oh, well, he fucking butchered that song.
Yeah, it was just the timing was off slightly.
I mean, the thing about Axl and me is, and I've said some pretty heavy things about Axl in the past, because I was at that St. Louis show when he made an ass of himself. So,
oh, were you?
Yes, and
so he owes you money as well.
Yeah, he does. Axl,
he owes me money too.
The fucker,
I love him.
But well, like I said, dude, you got to remember, it's like I'm conflicted with Guns N' Roses. People are gonna be like, fuck, DJ Metal Mike's talking out both sides of his mouth, but I loved Appetite for Destruction when it came out. And people have to remember, my brother and I, older brother David Tyler, a.k.a. Scapegoat, who makes a lot of our awesome, amazing bumpers for the station. Yeah. He's even appeared on my show from time to time.
Awesome.
when we heard about Appetite for Destruction, I think it was in Metal Forces. It was some magazine we read a review, and they just gave this glowing review. And most time, Metal Forces covered thrash metal, but I remember the review. If you like, meat and potatoes, street level, fucking, hard rock with hooks, this is the band for you. Well, fuck, man, that's all my brother and I had to hear. We're like, well, fuck, let's check it out, So we bought Appetite for Destruction. And it just blew me away. I mean, It was like a breath of fresh air. It wasn't thrash metal, but it was still it was as cool. And while I do think that sometimes some people want to go, oh well, they were the trend killer. I'm not going to go that far, because just like our very own Ralph Vieira just mentioned on the Rock and Metal Combat podcast recently, when they did a review of Dr. Feelgood. I agree with Ralph. I think Appetite for Destruction was an eye opener. I definitely think it was an ear opener. I definitely think it was maybe a sign of things to come. But I don't think it killed hair metal. Glam metal. I don't, because like Ralph pointed out, Dr. Feelgood came after that, and that album was a monstrous hit.
Yeah.
Why, I don't know, but that's another topic for another show.
Yeah, that's right. Poison had an album or two after that as well that was still a hit.
Right. So to me, it's kind of like you can't really. But I definitely think, and I mean, even Slash will say that when he was on Metal Evolution with Sam Dunn, who does a great job.
Yeah.
I don't ever have a chance to check out Boehner TV. They even got their own channel on YouTube. Amazing stuff. Sam knows his shit, man.
Yeah. I've seen a couple of his documentaries.
Oh, he's great. Him and the guy who works behind the camera, Scott McFadden, I think's his name. I hope I'm not butchering your name, Scott, if you're even listening. But they just do a great job. And he asked Slash about that. Like, well, history kind of puts you as a trend killer. And Slash was like, well, I wouldn't really say that. But I think that, obviously Guns N' Roses, because they came from the Sunset Strip, they were going against the grain, dude.
Yeah.
They were going against the grain just as much as fucking thrash metal was in their own way, But the difference between GNR is GNR was able to make it. It took them a while. People have to remember it wasn't an overnight success. That album was out well over a year before it was big, man. My brother knew who they were. We're like trying to introduce people. People were blowing us off and shit, and then a year later, everybody was all about them. And not that it didn't make me think. I wasn't like, well, fuck Guns N' Roses. You know how some people are? They're real, like, when the band's yours and it's special, and then all of a sudden they make it big, and you're just like, you kind of resent them making it. Mm-hmm. Me and my brother never liked that. I loved Appetite. I loved Lies, Lies, Lies. I was really excited about the direction Guns N' Roses was going in.
Yeah.
But once, Axl started thinking he was Elton John, I was just like, man, it wasn't my Guns N' Roses. Let's just put it that way. I don't want to sit here and like turn this into a bashing on, because I know how much you love them and you're my boy, and I don't want to break your heart. I just feel that Guns N' Roses, as great as those two discs were, even though Lies, Lies, Lies wasn't a full album, I do kind of think they're a bit. I don't want to use the word overrated, but bro, I'm gonna say it. And only because. But the reason why I say that is because as big a hit as Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 was, and it's fucking huge. I mean, people were waiting in line to buy those records. I was buying No More Tears, and everybody else was buying, because I was leery. I'm like, man, a double album? I don't know. And then when a buddy of mine got them, and he played them for me, I was like, yikes. I mean, there was some good songs on there. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to make it out like they're just total pieces of shit. I don't feel that way. But I'm just like, well, man, if they could have taken these songs and this song and put them together, it would have been a damn good record. But, but hey, what do I know? Those albums fucking were huge, man. I mean, they sold millions and millions of copies, and I know Guns N' Roses made a huge mark. I think where I get disappointed is it took him, 20 fucking years or so to do a up, and even then it wasn't really Guns N' Roses anymore.
Yeah, that was a bit disappointing.
Yeah, well, I know, and you felt that way because we've talked about this before, that you felt it was a lot of bells and whistles and a lot of shit.
Too overdone.
I've always felt that Guns N' Roses worked best as a stripped down, 5-piece fucking hard rock / metal band. That is Guns N' Roses. That is my Guns N' Roses.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can
leave it at that, man.
Yep.
We'll do the Guns N' Roses retrospective another time.
Yep. Would you want? I'm actually just going to play a small bit of the clip from the Billy Joel or Joel. We call him Billy Joel here, but I notice you guys call him Billy Joel.
All right, man. I kind of like Joel. It's kind of
that's the way we call it. That's I don't know. Maybe, I mean, I'm obviously wrong because Billy Joel calls himself Billy Joel.
Mac, the Irish are never wrong.
Well, yeah.
Guys, rule.
Awesome. Right.
I'm a little biased though. My family, again.
Yeah. You have
Irish
to say that.
Scotch Irish on mom, so like I said, I'm proud of my Irish heritage.
Yeah,
fuck
absolutely.
the haters.
Cool. Right. I'm going to play a small clip of Axl and Billy Joel singing Big Shot.
You had to be a big shot. You had to open up your mouth. You had to be a big shot. All your friends were so down. You had to have a last word, last night. No one ever thinks about. You had to have a one-hot spotlight. You had to be a big shot.
And there we have it. That was Axl and Billy Joel singing Big Shot. I'm glad you said it too, Mike. You thought he was a bit off time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did. That too. But I didn't think it was like awful. Like some people made it out like it was just horrible, and I'm like, well, fuck, I've heard worse.
Yeah.
I've heard Axl in some really bad.
Oh yeah.
Hey. To be fair to anybody, man, not everybody gonna bat a fucking 1,000 every goddamn night. Now,
yeah.
People need to put things in perspective sometimes.
Yeah. I just think it was cool that he went out and done it.
Sure.
5-10 years ago he wouldn't.
Mac? I'm sorry, I should have interrupted. You were talking. Go ahead and say what you were saying.
No, I was just saying. I just think it's cool that he actually went and done it because, 5 or 10 years ago. He was a hermit, you never seen him, so I think it's cool and it's good for him that he's going out and doing shit like this.
Sure.
Yeah, it's fun.
Was this the Billy Joel concert that he appeared in?
Yeah, it was in the Dodger Stadium on, when was it? It was there at the weekend, Saturday, or I think it was Saturday.
Well, hey man, that's cool, man. Like I gotta say, like I was one of those guys. Like when I heard Axl was going to sing for AC/DC, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I wasn't as a big a hater as some people were, though, but I was just like, well, but I have to give the guy credit. Mm-hmm. He did a good job, man. Yeah. So much so that I'm going, fuck, man, I'd rather he do this than Guns N' Roses almost. Like, I got to give the guy credit where credit is due. And I think one of the things that made the difference is I think it was from the heart. Yeah. Obviously, was a huge AC/DC fan, loves Bon Scott, and I have to respect that. Like, and people also have to understand it's a business, and AC/DC had already booked these dates.
Yeah.
They have to make these gigs, man. If they don't, there's people's lives that fucking depend on that.
Yeah, there's a lot of jobs and money on the line.
You goddamn right. I mean, when they call it the music business, they mean business, motherfuckers.
Yep.
It's not all like, art. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's great and all, but, people gotta eat,
Yeah.
I mean, so I can't really, while in a way it bummed me out, in a way I was like, well, fuck, And I know Axl did it from the heart, and he loves, and I know he loves Brian too, and I know that his heart was in the right place. You know, it's not like he's like trying to take over. And Axel, I think, was very, you know, obviously he put his ego in check and he put it at the door, as he should.
Yeah.
Because it's not the Axl Rose show, it's the AC/DC or Axl D show. It's not, it's, you know, and yeah, I gotta give the guy credit. I was impressed. So, you know, I'll admit, if I'm wrong, I'll be the first one to admit, hey, fuck, man, I doubted you, Axl. I'm sorry.
Yep,
so
absolutely. Yep, cool. Next story. I think this is one you'll like, Mike. Alice Cooper reunites with original band members for Nashville performance.
Oh, I wish I had been there. Oh, yeah. Fuck. That would have been amazing. And you know who got to go to that?
Chris
Czynszak from goddamn Death Week. I was like, I told him, so fucking jealous, man. Have a great time, brother.
Yeah, it would have been an awesome show.
Alice Cooper's fucking great, especially the original Alice Cooper band. God, man, great stuff. So
yeah, pretty cool. It was in Nashville. Alice Cooper was rejoined by 3 members of his original band: bassist Dennis Dunaway, drummer Neil Smith, and guitarist Michael Bruce, for a special performance earlier Sunday in Nashville. The legendary rockers concert at the Tennessee Performing Arts Center's Andrew Jackson Hall included a 5-song set by the quartet, who were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2011. So yeah, that's pretty fucking cool.
Awesome. Yeah, that is very cool. Like I said, I'm a fan of my cousin Mitchell, who I've mentioned before, along with my neighbor that across the street from me, who was like an older brother to me, Kevin Barnes. Especially my cousin Mitchell loved Alice Cooper. So I was introduced. You know, like he you know, Mitchell liked Kiss, but he was just like, all right. He goes, well, you guys need to check this guy out, because without this guy, there would be no Kiss. And I just remember going, whoa, you know, and his lyrical content, even as a child, like, I love the Dead. What the fuck, you know, like, it's so creepy.
Morbid.
And I mean, I can't say enough great things about Alice. I know he's coming in my neck of the woods with Deep Purple. I would like to go, because I've never seen Alice live, and I've never seen Deep Purple.
He's coming near me as well.
So I'd like to try and go if I could.
Yeah.
That would be a really cool show to see. I mean, fuck it. I'll get lawn seats and drink some beer. I don't give a fuck. I don't have to be in front row, man.
Yeah.
I just want to get a chance to at least glimpse some fucking legends, man. Yeah. Because if we don't start seeing these guys, they're not going to be around much longer, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Getting any younger. Fuck, we're not getting any younger, you know what I mean, brother? Yeah. And I mean... Yeah, that's if anything, like when we lost Chuck Berry, that was a huge deal here in the St. Louis area, because Chuck came from St. Louis, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, any of these legends, if you want to go see them, folks,
do it.
Go see them, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, Alice is coming near me in November. Well, when I say near me, it's 3 hours away, but November he's coming. So, yeah, I think I can make that happen.
That'd be sweet, man. You know what? I wish I could fucking go there and join you, dude. That would be awesome.
Have some beers.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. Well, like I said, it's always been kind of a dream of mine to go to Ireland one day.
No, we'll get you over.
Yeah, so, you know, definitely I want to, because my mom always wanted to see Ireland too. And like I said, that's one of the things I'm going to do when I get my RN, is I think I want to become a traveling nurse and go into traveling nursing, so I can see and go to places that my mom didn't really get the opportunity to do. So, anyway, man.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Enough about that.
Next story. Sammy Hagar would only reunite with Van Halen if David Lee Roth was also involved. Sammy, I don't know. To be honest, I don't think that'll ever happen. But, yeah, not a fucking chance.
No.
Do you know where all this stems from, though? I think maybe a year or two ago, Sammy sent Eddie a tweet wishing him happy birthday, and Eddie responded back saying, you know, thanks Sam, hope you're doing well. And ever since, there's been, you know, a slow burning rumour about a Van Hagar reunion, but I can't see it ever happening, and I just think this is Sammy trying to get himself on fucking Blabbermouth.
Right. I totally agree with you. Okay, here's my take on this whole Sammy Hagar thing. I'm not as extreme as my beloved colleagues at that metal station, Ralph Vieira and Ian Wadley. I don't hate Sammy.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I like Sammy. I like his Montrose stuff. I was a fan of that.
Yeah.
I like some of his solo stuff, especially the song Heavy Metal. I think that fucking riff is killer. I don't hate Hagar. I never did. However, with that being said, I was not, nor will I ever fucking be a fan of fucking Van Hagar.
Mm-hmm.
It fucking sucked in 1985. It fucking sucks now.
Yeah.
It sucks huge demon cock. I'm sorry. To me, that's not even opinion. That's almost fact. Like anybody who tells me they like it, I gotta wonder about them. And I try not to be that way. I'm not an elitist. I'm very much like, well, hey, bro, that's your opinion. That's your taste. And even to be fair, I do feel that way about Van Hagar, but I don't get it. I don't see how you can go from Van Halen to Van Hagar, because to me, the travesty of Van Hagar is a guy who was a fan of both Van Halen and Hagar before he joined Van Halen.
Mm-hmm.
They actually fucking neutered each other, brother.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's
It
like
took the balls out of it.
Oh my god! It was like, what the? I thought we were going to get Heavy Metal and Three Lock Box combined with fucking Everybody Wants Some and I'm on Fire and Eruption, and instead we got Why Can't This Be Love?
Yeah.
Dreams and fucking fucking terrible, man.
Yeah.
And it's got why can't this be love? Why can't this fucking band fucking put out something that rocks, man?
Yeah.
And I don't blame Sammy totally, because I think that was the direction Eddie was wanting to go in anyway. I think that's why David Lee Roth was like, fuck this noise.
Yeah.
And I think it wasn't just personality clashes, folks. It was musical differences that split the original Van Halen up. And I think Sammy was just like, fuck it, I'm going to cash my check.
Yeah.
And he went on for the ride, okay? Because I know both of those guys were perfectly capable of putting out better shit than they did. They went from one of the greatest hard rock, you could say maybe early U.S. metal bands of all time, to goddamn top 40 bullshit. It was fucking terrible. It fucking piped. I fucking hated it. I bought 5150 thinking, hell yeah, man, this is going to rock. Roth put out fucking Eat 'Em and Smile. Then, Sammy, and I'm like, hell yeah, man, we're going to get this. And, hello, baby. Dude, you're not the Big Bopper, motherfucker, okay? Right there, that pissed me off. Because I'm a fan of old rock and roll, too. I love music and music history. So that pissed me off. And the whole record just sucks. It's just terrible, man. It's just, I don't see how anybody can sit there and say that Van Hagar even remotely compares to the original Van Halen.
Yeah.
You know what? When I got that record, I got fucking veiny dick when I wanted sweet clit. You know what I'm trying to say, dude? Like, it was fucking terrible. I fucking hated it then, and I hate it now, and I know I'm going on a rant, but I cannot help it, man.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't get it. In fact, it's so fucked up. My brother was at a party one time where this dude got all pissed off at him when he said, man, I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of Van Hagar. And the guy got all pissed off. Like, I guess he felt he had to defend the honor of Eddie Van Halen or whatever. Fuck. And it's like, well, look, dude, it's just opinions. If you like it, go rock out with yourself. But like I said, I never got it because I was hoping we were going to get at least something hard rock and heavy. And another thing, while Sammy sold some records and was successful, especially in St. Louis, they fucking, my God, they treat him like a god here in St. Louis, which I don't quite understand. I'm like, he's all right. I like Hagar, but I mean, let's just put it this way, dude. I don't own any Sammy Hagar albums. Mm-hmm. I have some MP3 files, and that's about it. I'm not a huge Hagar fan. I never have been. But I'm not a Hagar hater either. But this myth that he tries to perpetuate that he was as big as Van Halen when he was so bull fucking shit. All right, I was there. I was just a kid, but I remember nobody at that point in time was bigger than the almighty Van Halen. Mm-hmm. That's just fucking fact, man.
Yeah.
That's like these fucking idiots that want to say that Kiss is as big now as they've always been. No, they aren't. Okay, no, they are not as big as they were in their 70s fucking heyday. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Yeah.
I don't care. You know, whatever.
That's actually a good segue into the next and last story. And it's Gene Simmons says some writing has been going on for a possible new Kiss album. Oh, I mean...
You know what? You just hit the nail on the head right there. I was just, oh, God.
Yeah.
Again, really?
But
You know?
I can't understand this motherfucker, right? 6 weeks ago, he said, no new Kiss album, nobody buys records, it's a waste of time. And now he comes on and says that some writing's been done for a possible new album. I don't know. I hope not. I mean, Sonic Boom sucked. Monster sucked.
Huge demon. I mean, just fucking terrible, man.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Awful. Paul sounds like fucking ass.
Yeah. God love him. I feel so bad for him. Like we were talking before we started the show, it's like you said, dude, it's like watching an old heavyweight champion or a great former athlete try to go up and recapture his glory. And Jesus Christ, dude, his voice strains even when he's talking to the crowd. It's like, people!
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck, man? He sounds like shit. And
He's
as far
skipping
as
words as well.
you want to know what I think happened? Shane, you're my fucking bitch, and we're gonna record the album because I say so. Because I'm the boss, and you're my bitch. Now go on like a good demon.
That's what I love it when you do that.
But that's what I think happened. I think that it was just, I fight crime. But anyway, I think that it's just one of those fucking, whatever, man. It's like, why? I mean, like, and again, if there's listeners out there that care, hey, more power to you. I'm not trying to rain on your parade. If you want to think Kiss is still the greatest thing ever, fine. And don't get me wrong, they were a great band. They are one of my, I think I stated in the last episode I was on, which was kind of my debut.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake, man, I love Kiss, okay? But they're not a great band anymore. They are a nostalgic act and nothing more. Yep. And if you people can't see that, then hey, man, whatever. That's, you can tell me I'm wrong, you can tell me I'm fucked. Just try not to take my opinions personal, guys, because quite honestly, everybody's entitled to an opinion. You want to love on Van Hagar, go for it. You want to love on fucking Scab Kids, go for it. I'm not telling you can't, but if somebody asks me what I think, or if it's a news item and they're like, well, hey, man, Kiss recording a new album, I'm going to fucking tell you.
Yeah.
I could give 2 fucks less. I could give 0 fucks.
You hit the nail on the head there. I will not be
waiting in line for the new Kiss album.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there when you said it's your opinion. So, and people can either like it or fuck off,
Right, if you're going to get all butthurt just because DJ Metal Mike doesn't like Monster or doesn't like the current incarnation of Kiss, then fuck you.
Yep,
I don't want you listening. I guess I don't want you listening to the station. I don't want you, if you can't handle that, if you can't handle my opinion, if you're going to be some fucking pussy bitch, then, it's just kind of like what Ian said on their last episode. Get the fuck out, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly how I feel. Like, I don't always agree with Ian on everything, whether it be politics or whatever, but you know what? And on his page, he has the right to fucking post whatever the fuck he wants. I don't give a fuck, man. And with me, a lot of times, I just try to stay out of politics. I'm very apolitical. I think they're both fucked. I think that it's a joke. I'm more of a constitutionalist, and as far as I'm concerned, both parties just butt rape the Constitution on a fucking regular basis. So I'm kind of like, fucking who cares anyway, Yep. We're all fucked. It doesn't matter. That's what cracks me up. People actually think that these cocksuckers on Washington Hill, my fellow Americans I'm talking to here, because I know this is a global podcast, that they give a fuck about you. I got news for you. Just like George, they don't give 0 fucks about you.
They give a fuck about is their own pocket.
You goddamn right. And it's the same way in Ireland. It's the same way in the UK. It's the same way in Scotland. It's the same way in Australia. In fact, it's the same way no matter what form of government you have. You got the big guy fucking the little guy. And that's just the way it is. And that's the way it's always going to be. And there's not a goddamn thing anybody can do about it.
Amen.
You may as well just fucking move on, try to live your life the best you can, and let it the fuck go.
Yeah,
but
just bend over
opinion.
and take your Roger.
Yeah, just, right. And that's just my opinion. Again, with DJ Metal Mike, I think you're a fucking pussy because you're not taking a stand. Well, hey, whatever. It's not going to make a bit of fucking difference if I do or don't.
Yeah.
And if you really think it is, then sorry about you.
Yep. You're fucking right, man. You're fucking right. Well, that's the end of the news for now.
Enough for that uplifting, political diatribe.
Hey, how about we get into this fucking album that we're going to review?
That is a fan-fucking-tastic idea, DJ Mac.
And this week on the Mind Over Metal podcast, we're reviewing Pantera's 1996, 96, The Great Southern Trendkill. 8th studio album by Pantera was released on May 7th, 1996 on East West Records. It reached number 4 in the Billboard 200 chart, and it stayed there for 16 weeks. Fairly fucking good. Look, it was a bad time for the band. Phil was in a fucking pit, not in a good place at the time. He done the vocals in Trent Reznor's studios in New Orleans, and Dimebag, Rex, Vinnie Paul done the music in Jason Studios in Dallas, Texas. So I actually got into Pantera after this album came out. I want to say if it came out in 96, say May 96, I discovered Pantera in 97. And I'm just trying to think what I think it was 5 minutes alone, the video. I saw that, and that's what kind of piqued my attention. I went back and I got the first album I got was Cowboys, and then Vulgar, and then I actually got Great Southern Trendkill afterwards. So it was about a year and a half, say, after it was released. What I will say about it is it's probably the least listened to Pantera album for me. No, that's not. I'm not saying I don't like it, but for some reason I just always tended to listen to the others more, even Reinventing the Steel, because I was like 15 when that album came out, and I actually waited for that album to come out. So yeah, but what about you, Mike?
Oh, my history of Pantera overall?
Yeah, or whatever. How did you get into them? When did you discover the album?
Well, I discovered them because I'm long in the tooth. I discovered Pantera when they did their first major label debut. Like you said, it's the 8th total album. Yeah, studio album, but 4th major label album. Yeah, and I do like to make that distinction because Pantera, of course, had the where they were more like almost a Van Halen meets Judas Priest clone. Well, early on, very Van Halen-ish.
Yeah, Iron Maiden in there as well.
Yeah, and then when Phil joined, which was the album before Cowboys from Hell.
Power Battle, was it?
Power. Yeah, definitely a big Judas Priest influence, I felt, on that record. Mm-hmm. I wasn't familiar with Pantera then. People have to understand, they were huge in like the New Orleans, Texas, Southwest area. Yeah. They hadn't really broke big around the rest of the country. So I was not very familiar with Pantera. All I can say is this, dude. I remember when Cowboys from Hell came out, which I believe was 1990, and it blew my fucking mind. I mean, it was so like, whoa, this is like thrash metal, but not totally thrash metal. It was, it had grooves, it had, I mean, there was definitely some thrash elements to it, but it wasn't your typical what's the word I'm looking for? The thing I think I loved about Pantera is they kind of borrowed from, everybody always wants to call them, groove metal, which I do think that's a valid, classification.
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely thrash metal, traditional heavy metal. You'll even hear on certain songs a bit of sludge metal, in my opinion, or
especially on this
speed
album.
metal. Oh, especially on this record. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you. And yeah, Pantera for me, I mean, when I heard Cowboys from Hell, man, I'll never forget, it was the summer of 1990, man, and I was, it just blew me the fuck away. It was like, when I heard, the first song, and I'll never forget it, we had a radio station that was a college radio station, and they fucking played that song, Cowboys from Hell, and I just remember being blown the fuck away by it, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, whoa. And my first thought was like, wow, a breath of fresh air. And secondly, some of these old thrasher guys, which they weren't old really, but I felt like the Big Four and your Testaments and your Exodus. I'm like, wow, these guys better look out. There's a challenge to the crown. Yeah. Like, I felt like Pantera threw down the fucking gauntlet to Metallica. And I think that's why when Metallica released the Black Album in 91, I was so disappointed. Because in my opinion, Metallica let fucking Pantera take that bitch. They took that fucking gauntlet. They took that torch. And they fucking ran with that motherfucker.
Yep.
And then because after that, of course, was Vulgar Display of Power. And they just, each record kept getting heavier and heavier. And the thing about me, dude, is I saw Pantera at a small club, Club 367, dude. And that was, I think, right before Vulgar Display had dropped. Mm-hmm. So they only played like a couple songs off of it. Vulgar had not come out. Like, it was just getting ready to drop. Oh my God, dude, they just blew me the fuck away. And I got to meet them that night. Because my friend Holly was a groupie, and she kept pounding on the back door. I kept going, Holly, quit wasting your time. Well, persistence pays off, I guess. And Holly was hot, indeed, a hottie back in the day. So, they opened the door, man, and it's them, and took pictures with us, which I don't have those pictures because Holly's got those pictures. And unfortunately, me and Holly had a falling out, so I don't have those. But I shared a fucking a shot with Dimebag. And
nice.
All of them were really great guys, very fucking friendly, really cool dudes. And that was my first time seeing Pantera. And then after that, I saw them again. And that was, again, Far Beyond Driven had just come out, man. And I went to see that tour. And that was a small theater called the American Theater, which is called something else now.
Yeah.
And Crowbar opened for him, and that was the first time I heard some of Crowbar's music, but that started my love affair with that band as well. Mm-hmm. An amazing concert, and what's really interesting about it is Kurt Winstein tells a really cool story about that show where he was talking about, and I'll never forget it because Crowbar's on stage. And there's this fake snow falling all over them, and Dimebag was responsible, of course. Yeah. And what happens is the snow is sticking to them because they're sweating, and it's sticking on their fretboards and getting in their jacks and fucking shit up. So, just fucking with Crowbar bad, But I'll never forget that. I was like, holy shit, I was at that show. And Kirk even said, I think it was in St. Louis somewhere, when he was telling the story. Because if you ever hear Kirk talk, he talks real, talks kind of like he sings, And he was telling that story, and it was just so fucking cool, man. And great concert. I was right in the front row, dude, in the front fucking pit. And this is my most metal moment in my life. Are you ready for this, dude?
Yep. Go for it, man.
They're playing Walk. Phil throws the microphone out to the crowd. He doesn't get somebody to grab the mic. He misses. He shakes his head. He does it again. I'm in the front row with my best friend Brian Honecker, Big B, and my older brother Dave Tyler, also known as Scapegoat. Brian and Dave grab the fucking mic. We all sing Walk. Are you talking to me? While they're fucking playing, dude. It was fucking amazing, James.
Oh, what
and
a fun
then
moment.
to top it off, it gets better. After the show, and this is the thing I want to point. I know, like, when Dimebag got killed, a lot of people talked a lot of shit on Phil, threw a lot of hate on Phil's way. Now look, there's no doubt that Phil became a fucked up, hot mess. It's all been established. We all know now what he was going through. And I'm not enabling him, and I'm not making excuses for him. He made peace with Dimebag's widow a while back. She ran into him at a festival, and she said, Philip, I just want to know why. And he just looked at her, and he broke down. He goes, I have no excuses, Rita. I was a fucking junkie. Yeah. And that's it. It's just one of those things. It was just an unfortunate thing. But I'll say this for the man. And I don't know if he was banging heroin at this point or not, because, like I said, this was early. This was early into the Far Beyond Driven tour. They're still doing clubs and small theaters at this point. And fucking, he signed our shit. It was freezing cold. He's out in his shorts and a t-shirt, taking pictures of it. And he was the only one that came out, dude. Like, I'm not trying to talk shit on the other guy's Pantera. He was the only dude that came out. And he fucking saw us, Mac. And he was, dudes from the front row. And we're like, fuck yeah, man. And there's a picture of me and my buddy. And if I can think of it, I'll post it on our Facebook page. Of my buddy Brian. He's got his head shaved. And he's like, Phil, you got to take a picture of me grabbing each other's melons. And Phil just fucking laughed his ass off and said, all right, brother. And there's a photo of them both with their hands on each other's head. Great picture. Unfortunately, I'm in the photo, but the fucking guy we got to take the picture cut me off, so only half my fucking face is there. But great dude. He was really cool, man. I just said, thanks, Phil. He's like, hey, man, drive home safe, brother. Really cool guy. So anybody who wants to, bash on Phil or talk shit on Phil, well, you know what? Go fuck yourself, man. I mean, it's really easy to judge and be judgmental. You weren't in his shoes. You don't know what was going on. And unfortunately, it sounds like the guys in Pantera, I guess, were just totally clueless on what was going on, which shocks the fuck out of me, man, because I remember when we saw them again later that tour, and that was when they were doing sheds and arenas, Mac. And originally it was supposed to be Prong, Sepultura, the real Sepultura, and Pantera. And Max blew his knee, so he couldn't make that gig. So it was just Prong, Pantera. And even though it was an amazing show, my brother said, dude, those guys are fucking strung the fuck out. Phil is strung the fuck out. He recognized it. And I mean, not a year later, Phil OD.
Yeah.
And, but anyway, I've been a lifelong Pantera fan. Well, not lifelong, but since they emerged, I mean, to me, they are the premier metal band of the 90s. There's no comparison. I know some people look at the 1990s as a dark time for metal because of the whole grunge thing. I have mixed feelings about that. I know that it was a hard time because it seemed to me like, for whatever reason, when glam metal just got so oversaturated, so fucking ridiculous, and so incredibly fucking gay. That's right, I said it. Gay LA. And I don't mean gay in like a gay way. I mean, I'm talking gay like even my gay friends were like, what the fuck are they doing? I don't know, dude. I don't know. Like it just got ridiculous. And if people want to know what happened, they need to blame it on themselves. Unfortunately, the side effect of that was you had a lot of metal bands, thrash metal bands, that paid the price. Traditional metal artists like Dio and Judas Priest and even Ozzy to a certain extent, they all paid that price for what these fucking idiots were doing. And then on top of that, you had poor bands like Rat totally got a backlash, which wasn't fair, because I'm like, well, wait a minute, they were one of the originators of that scene.
Yeah, they got fucked over royally.
Rat, Quiet Riot, Doc, and those guys were the originators, and they were inspired by Van Halen. I got in a huge debate with our my friend and co-owner of the station, Scott Green, aka DJ Guilty Mac, because he was like, well, Van Halen didn't start glam metal. I'm like, bro, how can you not see the correlation? Like, they inspired the whole Sunset Strip scene.
Yep.
Without Van Halen, there is no Sunset Strip scene. Now, I'm not saying Van Halen or glam metal. It's not what I'm saying at all. To me, Van Halen are, in my opinion, early U.S. metal, definitely hard rock. But that again, that's just my opinion, But
they're American, early American heavy metal.
Right, much like Kiss were, in my opinion. I know that some people want to disagree. Oh, they're hard rock. Well, yeah, they're considered hard rock now. But I got news for you, motherfuckers. In 1975, if you don't think songs like Deuce and fucking Black Diamond and goddamn Parasite wasn't heavy metal, well, fuck, I don't know what to tell you, man. It sure as fuck wasn't soft rock. I'll tell you that.
Exactly. Yep.
Anyway, I'm getting off on some tangents. I'm sorry, bro.
We love your tangents, Mike.
But yes, Pantera, in my opinion, and even the 90s. I mean, a lot of people always want to look at the dark time. There was a lot of great albums that came out in the 90s. Goddamn fucking Slayer, Season of the Abyss. Megadeth, Rust in Peace came out in the 90s. Fear Factory emerged in the 90s. Sepultura became bigger in the 90s. Yes, I know they started in the late 80s, but let's be honest, they made their mark in the 90s.
Absolutely.
Machine Head, whether you like them or not, they emerged from the 90s. There was a lot of great. Life of Agony was another. That album, River Runs Red, great fucking record. There was some great metal being put out at that time, and I think Pantera was at the forefront of that.
Absolutely. As they used to say themselves in the live shows, they used to say, Metallica let you down. We fucking didn't let you down. And it's true. I mean, Metallica went and done Load and Reload and the Black Album and totally left what they set out and what they began as and done a total U-turn. And Pantera were there to pick up the torch.
Couldn't agree more, Mac. I mean, for one thing, to me, Metallica weren't even Metallica anymore. They were hard rock Alica.
Yeah, they were a total different
They were
band.
rock Alica. They weren't even Metallica. There was no metal. I don't give a fuck what he says. Load and Reload are not metal.
Yeah.
That was them following the trends. Much like, again, we're going to go into the Kiss vortex, but much like Kiss did in the late 70s. Like by the time Dynasty rolls around, oh, fuck, disco. And then we follow this trend. The sad thing, Kiss, though, is they always seem to be just a bit behind. Like, if they would have released some of those records just a little bit earlier, they might have been able to get by with it more. I mean, whatever else you want to say about Metallica, the difference between Kiss and Metallica is when Metallica did it, yes, they alienated a certain segment of their audience, but they also picked up a lot of new fans, and there was also a lot of hardcore fans, or very, very, that would be like Bill Wayne, who I love dearly, and check out his Facebook page, Kiss, 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 Heavy Metal, rock, Hard Rock, love you. And then, of course, there's the Ace Frehley group Facebook page with his lovely woman, Gina Elizabeth. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting the station and the DJs, and, of course, this podcast. You guys fucking rule. Anyway.
Yep.
Bill has stayed loyal and has even defended those albums. And that's fine. That's fine. I understand he was there from the very fucking beginning, even further than I go back. I mean, Bill was there, like, literally there. He was there, Yeah. I mean, so, but at the same time, it's just, for me, so you had those fans, then you had the new fans. Metallica was able to do what they did and get by with it. They got by with it. Kiss, there was a backlash pretty much from Dynasty then on. Even though Dynasty's got some good cuts on it, personally, in my opinion, Ace Frehley saved that fucking record. If it hadn't been for Ace, I think Dynasty wouldn't have been that good of an album. But again, that's just my opinion. But my point that I'm trying to make is Kiss kind of followed trends. And even they got experimental. Much like Pantera did with this record. This album is very experimental in nature, but it works. Unlike the fucking Elder. The Elder, for me anyway, is just a mixed bag at best.
Yep.
And it's not truly a Kiss record, where I feel like this album, even though it is a experimental album, it's still Pantera. I mean, Phil even describes it as a dark horse record for Pantera. And it was very divisive record when it came out, Mac. I mean, among Pantera fans and metalheads, and kind of remains so to this day. When I looked at a lot of the comments on my research of the album, it seems to be better now. I think there's a lot more love for this record now than there was when it came out. Upon release, man, it was kind of divisive at best, and it seems to have finally found its niche. So, anyway, and another great thing about the record is it features some of the fastest tempos and most down-tuned guitars that the band ever recorded. Like you pointed out earlier, bro, the sludge metal. There's definitely a sludge metal element to this record. And
the vocals.
Also, another thing that was amazing about the record is most of it was written off the cuff, according to Rex Brown. Like, they didn't have a lot of shit. They didn't bring a lot of shit in the studio when they recorded this record. So I'm, like, blown the fuck away. I'm like, wow. Yeah. Because, anyway, I've rambled enough. Your turn, my friend.
Awesome. Well, how about we jump into this and kicks off with the title track. Mike, go ahead, my friend.
The Great Southern Trendkill. Title fucking track, as you mentioned, DJ Mack. Killer opening that just fucking kicks you right in the balls. Blasting the entire music industry at the time. A giant fuck you. A great opening track with an amazing Dimebag solo as always. Love this song. Just, yeah, great album, or great song, great lyrics. And I really like, it was funny at the time, I didn't care much for Phil's multi-layered vocals and a lot of the screaming, but now for some reason it doesn't bother me. Like I told you off the podcast when we were talking privately about this album, I think a week or so ago. This to me is very much an album ahead of its time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, I mean, because like I said, man, even I was kind of like taken aback by it a little bit when it came out. But that's the one thing I've always loved about Pantera. If you look at them, they got heavier and heavier as they went along. Yeah. They went the opposite direction and was still able to sell millions of albums, pack stadiums, the whole fucking, 9 yards, man. Mm-hmm. In fact, there's a great fucking story, if I can find it. Yeah, listen to this. He even talks about how he said that The Horse Was Dark record from Pantera, and that he was having a lot of problems, and he decided to do his vocals on his own because he was just fucked up at the time. Mm-hmm. And he didn't want to see anybody. He was embarrassed. He didn't want to see Dime and Rex and Vinny to see him the way he really was. So that's why he also said that he was very involved with the writing, though, because like I said, I was present throughout the entire writing of the songs musically, because I am the lyricist. So therefore, shaping a song and getting it some semblance of song structure, of course, they needed me there for that. But when it came to recording, he recorded his vocals at Trent Reznor's studio, which was in New Orleans, and then, of course, Pantera did theirs in Texas. He said, he continued, aside from all that, he said he had a journalist just yesterday say, well, this is kind of a dark horse record for Pantera. And you know what? I could not disagree with the person. And I still say, yeah, it was a bit of a dark horse record for Pantera, because heavy metal at the time was supposed to be on its way out. Grunge was the number one selling genre at the time. Heavy metal is being experimented with by different bands in different ways. And really, from the Pantera perspective, we really, 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 really wanted to fly the pure Pantera style of heavy metal as best we could. And we did. And I'll go a bit further and say that right when the day we arrived to meet up and go on our first tour for the Great Southern Trendkill, our road manager approached me and he said, Phil, man, don't expect sold out shows, man. Heavy metal's on its way out. Kids are listening to different stuff, and it's going to be rough. Don't expect this, don't expect that. And I was like, fucking great. I appreciate the pep talk, dude. But the best thing that remedied this bullshit diatribe was that he was fucking dead wrong. That first show was packed to the gills, sold out, as most of the other ones were. So fucking in-your-face opinion. Yep. And another thing that Vinnie Paul mentioned, too, was their record company at the time, because, when new metal, rap metal, whatever you call it, was all the rage, they were coming in and telling them, you guys need to be sure to start rapping on your record, add some rap to it. And we just kind of laughed and said, yeah, okay, we'll get right on that. And they even said it's here, literally right here, that this album was designed as a gigantic bird finger to the music industry at the time. Mm-hmm. And, I definitely think this song accomplishes that. I think the album accomplishes that. And another thing I think that's interesting about this whole record as a whole, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, is that, to me, it's kind of like Phil was bringing in a different influence on this record, because if you look at it from perspective, I think Phil was kind of trying to push them more into almost like a death metal or more extreme metal direction. And I think the guys in Pantera, while they wanted to be really heavy, I think they were kind of like, man, I don't know about this black metal, death metal influence that Phil was trying to put in the band. You know, like the screaming and he even had guys from other bands like Anal Hunt doing backing vocals on certain tracks. So
Seth Putnam from Anal Hunt. He done a lot of the high pitched screaming. And
which is very
with Phil's vocals, and it gives that real demonic fucking sound.
Yes.
It's
which
throughout the album. Yeah, it's just throughout the album. It's really it gives it that death metal vibe.
And it's very not just death metal, but I heard a bit of black metal there. That demonic, that demonic. Scream that it was just fucking crazy, man. But anyway, enough about me. I've went off on another tangent again, man.
We love your tangents, Mike.
What do you think of the title track?
Oh man, it's just this chaotic fucking explosion. Kicks off with the whole band just roaring in unison. It's got a simple heavy riff. Dimes, he changes the mood of the song with catchy solo, really fits the song well, and it ends with a cool fucking dime solo that fades out. It's just a fucking killer song, great fucking opener, and I fucking love it.
Right on, brother. Right on. Couldn't have said it better myself. You pretty much said what I said, but you said it. You know what? Your review right there of that track was kind of like the Gettysburg Address of reviews. Like, I'm the guy that's all long-winded before Lincoln, and blah, 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 blah. And then you just come along and was like, bam, bitches. This is what's up. I love you, brother. Great review.
Oh, cheers, man. Go on, you take track 2, War Nerve.
War Nerve. Oh, man. Very cool. Like, just a chugging riff. Of course, is the Pantera groove, as it came to be known already by that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Phil just absolutely goes the fuck off on this album and this record and this song. He's basically calling out the media, which I feel is very prophetic. Not just the music media, but like how... Dude, I don't know about you, but I just don't trust the media anymore. I don't trust any of them. I don't give a fuck if
the media.
Yeah, if it's Fox News, I don't give a fuck if it's CNN. I don't believe a goddamn word they're saying. And as far as I'm concerned, Phil is definitely, and some of his lyrical content in this record is just fucking amazing, man. So, good, solid track. I like it. What do you think, Mac?
I fucking love it. I mean, fuck the world for all it's worth.
I know.
It's so fucking true.
Right.
It's just a fucking... this is an unbelievable track. Opening riff. Phil comes in with that another more dynamic vocals. But what I really love about this track is Vinnie Paul, and I call it machine gun type drumming. That do-do-do-do-do. I just think that's fucking killer. That's a great fucking song. One of my favourites on the album. Probably second favourite on the album. Fucking love the song.
Right on. Yeah, great. It's a great tune, and like you just point out, Vinnie Paul. I think sometimes people get so focused on Phil and Dime because let's face it. I mean, Dime, an incredible guitar player, fucking very inventive, and then you got Phil, who. Let's fucking just throw something out there right now, folks. Like it or not, Phil was very instrumental to this band.
Absolutely.
They changed their sound and style drastically from him even joining the band. Like, I saw a difference between Terry Glaze Pantera and Phil, even with power metal. You know what I'm trying to say? So anybody who wants to act like Phil he just writes. I got news for you. He writes a lot of the music too, like the opening to Mouth for War. That he wrote that. He wrote that, but his version of it was not as fast, kind of slower. And when he played it for Dime just took it and fucking made it like fucking badass and just precision. Yeah. And fucking Phil was like, tear it up, big boy, because I'm not a guitar player, you know. But he was like, he could take some of my riffs and just turn them in even more badass than they were already are. And I'm not saying Phil wrote every Pantera riff. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is he did contribute more musically. And another thing that Kirk Winstein from Crowbar says is that Phil is very good at arranging music. Well, let's put this part here. Let's put that part here. And he helped not just Crowbar with that, with the second album that he produced, which I think is just their self-titled album, Crowbar. He did it with Pantera as well. He's done it with all his projects. In fact, I remember reading in Rex Brown's autobiography, dude, that Vinny and Dime were kind of irritated at Phil with Down because there were certain songs, like Bury Me in Smoke, where Dime was like, fuck, that could have been a good Pantera song. Like, it pissed him off almost. Like, you're taking shit that we could have used for our band. So very, 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 very interesting things about that. And anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there about Phil. That to me, it's like his impact on the band cannot be understated. But more importantly, the whole point I'm trying to make out of this is, long story short, which I know is too fucking late, way too late, but the rhythm section. Fucking Rex and Vinny were amazing. Yeah. This band was so fucking tight. Like Phil said, it's the tightest band he's ever played with. Like, they were just fucking amazing, And just the chemistry there. It was just fucking. Even when they're at their most chaotic, like right now, dude, they're not doing good at all, and they still could put out great fucking music.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing, amazing. Anyway, next track, dude. You want to take this one?
Absolutely, yeah. Drag the Waters, first single of the album. I love that sludgy guitar at the beginning, and the cowbell. Fucking love cowbell.
I thought of you, Mac. I thought of you, man. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big cowboy. I was going to say cowbell fan. Look, catchy chorus. I do think it's repeated a bit too much, probably. I love Phil screaming in it. He's like a fucking man possessed. Dime's tone's great, and he's got a great, to the point solo. I do find Rex maybe a little too low in the mix on this track, but it's a great song. Fucking love this song. 3 out of 3 for me. What do you think?
Right on. Oh yeah, I'm right there with you, brother. Killer chugging, groovy, fucking sludgy riff. Again, we're talking about I definitely think there was a bit of a sludge metal. I don't know if that was Dime's doing or Phil, or because I know Dime was really close with Kirk, so I kind of wonder if maybe some of that rubbed off on Dime.
I
really don't know.
There's a bit of a Crowbar influence on this, absolutely.
Yeah, and also I know Dime was a huge Sabbath fan too, and let's be honest, not only is Black Sabbath the father of all metal, but they're definitely the father of doom metal, and all that too. So just a killer, and the cowbell. I'm sorry, but I need more cowbell. Come on, man. Fucking, and it was one of the few songs that Pantera did that, besides Revolution Is My Name from Reinventing the Steel. It's also, from what I understand, a metaphor for digging underneath a person and finding out what's really underneath them. Like, what makes this motherfucker tick? Because you have people come at you all the time trying to be your friend, and are they really your friend? Or are they just trying to use you? Let's drag the fucking waters, motherfucker, and see what's fucking underneath. And I like that, man. Cool fucking tune. Like you said, 3 out of 3, man. Just fucking good stuff, man.
Yeah, killer. Doing good so far. And now we go into 10's track 4. It's dark. Slow tempo. First sort of ballad, if you could call, any of the slower tracks on the album a ballad. It certainly has that sort of feel to it, but fuck it, I wouldn't call it a ballad. But it's got a lot of feeling. It's got a killer sort of simple bass from Rex. I fucking love it. I think it's a great fucking song. What do you think?
Fucking love this song, dude. It's dark, it's moody, it's atmospheric, it's fucking sludgy and slow as fuck. I love the demonic double vocal effects that Phil does. The guitar solo is fucking amazing. And believe it or not, it actually makes the hair on my neck stand on end whenever I hear it. I love this song. Might possibly be probably my favorite track on the album. I'm not going to say it's the best track, but there's just something about this song, dude, that speaks to me. It always has. Even when the album first came out, I don't know what it is about this song, man, but it's definitely one of them. I don't know if it's my favorite, but goddamn, Mac, it's fucking up there, brother.
Yeah.
It's just an amazing track. I just love everything about it, man. It's just a great fucking album. Or awesome. I keep saying album. Great fucking song. Great track. Tens is amazing.
Awesome. Track 5, 13 Steps to Nowhere. Go for it, brother.
Oh, fuck. Just when you think you can take a breath, man. Because you kind of do take a breath with Tens. Because, like you point, it's not a ballad per se, but when I don't know if Pantera ever really wrote a ballad. I mean, the closest you can maybe get to that would be This Love, maybe Cemetery Gates. And then, of course, the final track off of Vulgar Display would be one that would fuck it. It's very kind of starts off mellow, hollow, where in that song Phil's talking about his friend being in a car wreck and he's in a coma. And Phil's vocal performance in that particular song is just very haunting and melodic. And I could definitely see where people would think that, but Pantera really didn't write any ballads, bro. Like they never really did. I mean, the most mellow song they ever recorded wasn't even theirs, and ironically, it was by the masters of metal, and that was fucking Black Sabbath's Planet Caravan. But yeah, I definitely think Tens is if you were going to call anything a dark ballad, that would be it. But I don't know if you'd really call it a ballad. Fucking 13 Steps to Nowhere, though, man. A killer fucking drum opening. I love Vinny's drum, and then which again, Vinny Paul, I think sometimes I think people forget just what an amazing drummer he is. I mean, I don't know why, because when you hear their songs, it's just fucking. I mean, goddamn, man, it's like a machine. Vinny's like a machine. His drumming style is just fucking amazing, and maybe part of the reason why people are kind of overlooking him is because of the fact that. Again, I don't mean to fucking put anybody down, but I'm not that big a fan of Hell Yeah. I thought the first album was okay, but I much prefer Pantera and Mudvayne. I'm just going to throw that out there. Yeah. I prefer,
Damage Plan?
Damage Plan was pretty good.
Yeah.
I
like Damage Plan.
I liked it too, but I felt like they hadn't really found their niche yet.
Yeah, I think they're the wrong singer for that band as well.
Yes, and also one of the things that my brother hated was there were certain songs where there's a thing, and it's in my notes that we talk about the Phil Anselmo death talk, and that's when Phil he likes talking like this, to the microphone, he's talking, and that guy Patrick Lackman he did a bunch of that on the album of Damage, and it pissed my brother off because my big brother was like, motherfucker, you are not Phil Anselmo. Fucking stop it. And I mean, I'm just going to throw that out there, not to take anything away from the other guys, but when it comes to projects outside of Pantera, Phil's by far just smokes everybody else.
Yeah.
I love Down. I even like Phil Anselmo and the Illegals. It's heavy as fuck. It's abstract. It's fucking out there, man. I can certainly understand why some people feel it's way too abrasive, because it is very abrasive. But like Phil pointed out when he made that record, he goes, I didn't want to do a paint-by-numbers thrash record. And that record ain't. It's heavy, brutal, very abstract, kind of out there, very unorthodox, that record. You know what I mean? But again, I think Phil, man, a lot of his side projects, he almost hits a home run every time. And I can't say that about the other guys. Like Rebel Meets Rebel was kind of cool, where he did the with David Allen, when the band Pantera, besides Phil, did the album with David Allan Coe. Damage Plan had some cool songs. I like the songs where he did more clean singing. I did like Fuck You, though. That was a pretty cool fucking song.
Cool song, yeah.
But yeah, I think Damage Plan hadn't quite found their niche yet. I think maybe I heard that guy was like not wanting to sing Pantera songs, when they were playing out. He was kind of difficult to work with, so I'm not so sure he would have lasted with the band. So to me, it's like Damage Plan was one of those things where there was definitely some fruitful possibilities, but let's just say this: it didn't blow me away like Cowboys from Hell did.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be fair, because they're not Pantera. That's Damage Plan. It was a whole other thing, but I think they were having a hard time. They struggled with, well, how much can we make this sound like Pantera, and how it's like they didn't quite know. It's a very disjointed record, I think. Again, that's just my 2 cents on that record. But to get back on track, man. Yeah, like I said, Vinnie Paul, the whole band, though, God, man, they're just so fucking tight. And this is in the most fucked up circumstances. I mean, just killer chugging riff that's slow and chunky, like me. I'm a slow and chunky guy. And Phil is just on fucking fire with this song, man. Mobley, he's just going. I mean, really, Phil just goes the fuck off on pretty much the entire record.
Yeah.
So what'd you think, man?
Yeah, it's a good song. This is where it dips slightly for me, but I mean very slightly. And I think the main reason is the lack of a solo. I think
you're right. I never thought about that.
Yeah, I think a solo, a dime solo would have really helped the track for me. No, I'm not saying it's a bad fucking song.
I know
what
you're saying.
I really like the message. It's like the song's sort of about America's decadence in the 90s. I think is really cool. There's a cool fucking message to it. The drum fills are, just fucking amazing. The double bass drumming. Yeah. I mean, fucking Vinnie Paul.
Said, Vinnie makes that song. You know what I mean? Like, Vinnie really shines on this particular song. I think that's what I was trying to get across. Like I said, with Vinnie Paul being very Grammy, just the drumming, like the whole intro is just fucking badass, man.
Yeah.
Just fucking makes you want to fucking just punch somebody in the fucking face.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. And like you said, though, I never noticed that before. I never really thought about it. It's one of the few Pantera songs that don't have a guitar solo.
Yep,
and perhaps it does suffer for that, because Dime is such a great guitar player that it's like, dude, But I don't know. It's kind of interesting that they didn't go that route. Again, though, this was an experimental album for Pantera.
Yeah, but and I mean, if you look at that time, 1996, you have bands like Korn, and I know Pantera kind of didn't really give a fuck what was going on around them at the time, but a lot of the bands at the time, the new bands, had very little guitar work, guitar solos. So
it's true.
Maybe was it to do with that, or no? Probably not, to be honest.
Probably not, I think, only because of the fact that if that were the case, I think that would have been more prevalent on the album.
Yeah, good point.
And, I think that it's kind of like in that Metallica documentary, Some Kind of Monster, where Kirk Hammett just goes the fuck off when they're like, well, Lars like, well, if you do a guitar solo, it's going to sound dated. And he's like, well, if you don't, it's going to sound dated to today. If I want to fucking write a goddamn guitar solo, I'm going to fucking do it. And I'm like, fuck yeah, Kirk. Show some fucking balls. Of course, nobody could say, God, we're terrible.
Yep. Cool. But no, look, 13 Steps to Nowhere.
Anyway,
it's a good song.
13 Steps to Nowhere. Yeah, that describes Metallica's last few albums before they came back.
Yeah.
Steps. Oh my god. Anyway, but yeah, great tune. I think very cool. Like you said, man. Not. Like you said, it maybe dipped a little down for you, but not enough to where you're like, oh well, fuck.
Oh yeah.
You lost me on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'll never skip this song. When I'm listening to the album, it's still a good fucking song. Yeah, that's the only thing I can fault it for is the lack of a solo, and it's not really a fault. It's just
so you don't put this in the Baby Driver club then?
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah, it doesn't touch that territory at all.
Oh, man.
Right, track 6, Suicide Note Part 1. I'll let you take this fucking thing.
All right. Now, Suicide Note, for me, is, soon it's like very haunting, atmospheric melody. I love the acoustical guitar work of Dime. Phil is just a lyrical genius in this. I love his vocals and just really atmospheric as fuck, man. And really, if you want to talk about a ballad, this would probably be the closest that Pantera ever came to a ballad.
Mm-hmm.
Very dark ballad. So yeah, I mean, we were just talking about that earlier, but really, if you think about it, this would probably be the one that would fit the bill as far as a dark ballad, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I like it. I wouldn't say it's my favorite song on the album, but it's just really a really trippy song. But I couldn't imagine Suicide Note Part 1 without Part 2. What do you think, Mac?
Okay. I like it. It's mellow. It has this sort of, southern feel to it. I appreciate the song, but it doesn't do a whole lot for me. I think it should have been cut in half, say down from 4 minutes to 2, or even to a minute and a half, and used as the intro to Suicide Note Part 2. That's what I think. I think it's a little too long. I think the album kicked off, you get to the halfway point and it just suddenly stalls. No, I don't hate it.
Right.
I don't know, I just think if the song was half as long, or even less, and it was an intro to Suicide Note Part 2, I just think it would have been a whole lot better.
You know what, James? DJ Mac, I would like to hear a really good band or somebody do that. Like, take your idea and kind of meld both songs just to see what that would sound like, man.
I think it would sound
that's
fucking
kind of an
good.
Interesting kind of. Yeah, I could see that, man. I could see that. Like, I could see where you're coming from. I mean,
no, I
know
will
there's
say
probably a segment of Pantera fans that are probably like, "What are you talking about? It's fucking blasphemy!" But anyway, go ahead.
Like, I mean, there's some serious diversity in the song, and I think that's really cool. But I don't know. I think it's just because the album was going on a certain direction, and then Suicide Note Part 1 comes on, and it's like totally. It's like a fucking bad come down. It just hits you like a ton of bricks. Look, I don't hate any song on this album, spoiler. I just think it. I don't know. I just think it would have been better as an intro to the next song. But I don't hate it. But I think it's just the sudden drop in tempo and where the album was going. I think it's just a bit too much.
I think there's an argument to be made for that. Maybe it was kind of a momentum killer.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it should have been later on in the album. Like maybe they should have ended the album with Suicide Note Part 1 and 2, possibly. I mean, there's some merit to your opinion, bro.
Cool. So then we get into Suicide Note Part 2. You take that one, Mike?
Oh man, this is a fucking frantically paced, killer fucking thrash track. Like, just takes no goddamn prisoners. This is Phil on an open slab, and the entire band is just tight as fuck. Great fucking track, blistering fucking solo. Pretty much an all-out thrash attack, man, as far as I'm concerned. And the outro riff just makes me want to fucking curb stomp some low-life motherfuckers, man. Great fucking track, man. It was like, it kind of makes up for it's like, all right, man, we were all mellow. Well, guess what? That was only for a few minutes, and now we're fucking, literally making you pick your teeth up with broken fucking fingers.
Yeah.
Great fucking track, dude. What do you think, man?
It's fucking phenomenal. Just this chaotic start. It seems to come down a little, and then the groove ends and back into the fucking madness again. could it be Pantera's heaviest and fastest track ever? I don't know. I was trying to think, is there one faster than this?
I don't know, dude.
I was
It's
struggling
up
to
there.
think of another one.
It's got to be up there, dude. If it's not number one, it's got to be. I mean, it's just totally. It's like it's. Because I mean, that's what's kind of cool about Pantera. Were they a traditional metal band? Were they a groove metal band? Were they a thrash metal band? They were all three of those things. They were a combination of different things, and that's what made Pantera so fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just a fucking killer track. They kind of go deep into the anger and frustration of life, and basically just warn you not to fucking follow. I think this is a fucking fantastic song. It's tied for my second favorite song on the album. Fucking love Suicide Note.
You know what? I think I got to put it right up there too, man. It's like it's just a phenomenal track, man. It's just like I said, it just kapow right in the fucking nutsack, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you're never going to have kids again after getting hit that hard. You know what I mean? Like,
you're going to be deep.
Your sperm factory is fucked.
Yeah.
Just fucked, man. And just a great, great fucking track. Like, I can see why my nephew, DJ Kane, loves this record so much, man. Great Southern Trendkill so far. Fuck.
Yeah. I know a few people that cite this as their favorite Pantera.
Oh, I know.
Album.
Yeah, who do you know personally? Anybody I might know?
Or just Ian.
Ian? Oh, okay. Yeah. Right on.
Who else? There's someone else. No, nobody else. I don't think that you would know, but I know, a few different people have said it to me. It's come up in conversation. I know Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show. He said this is his favorite Pantera album as well. Pantera's his favorite band.
All right on, man.
Yeah. But it's a great fucking song. Second favourite song on the album, tied for second. So, where are we next? Yeah, Living Through Me. Go for it, Mike. You take this one.
Living Through Me, with parentheses, Hell's Wrath. Fuck, dude. Again, I almost feel like I'm fucking repeating myself. Killer track, dark, atmospheric lyrics that are clearly, in my opinion, talking about Phil's drug addiction. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just blows me away that no one in the Pantera camp didn't see Phil's eventual OD coming. Like the way Vinny talks about it, if you watch Behind the Music, he was just shocked that Phil, oh, no way, not Phil Anselmo. I'm going, dude, how could you not know, that something was clearly wrong? Maybe you wouldn't recognize the signs of heroin addiction, but wouldn't you think, okay, well, this motherfucker's behavior is getting all erratic and weird. What's going on with our boy here? You know what I mean? It just seemed like they were like, oh, well, I guess he's getting a big ego. No, dude, when your personality changes that drastically, that's because of chemical dependencies, motherfucker.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Pantera were doing their fucking fair share of drugs too. They might not have been doing heroin, but they were fucking drinking their asses off, smoking lots of weed, and I know they were doing the nose candy too. So, Phil just took it to that next level because the guy was just in chronic fucking pain. And, speaking as somebody who's a caregiver, I know people that they'll do anything to get away from that pain. Any goddamn thing, and heroin will numb the fuck out of you.
Yep, and
it will numb the fuck out of you.
Thing about heroin is it doesn't take. I mean, one hit and you can be fucking.
You're done.
You're done.
You're done. That's why I don't. That's the one thing I don't understand about some people I know who are heroin addicts, and struggle with it. I'm like, why were you attracted to that drug in the first fucking place?
Yeah.
Like, I kind of get why Phil was doing it because he was in a lot of pain. What I don't get is people that are like, oh, that sounds like fun. I want to do a drug that makes me sick, puke my fucking guts out, and then I feel like I'm floating on clouds and don't give a fuck about anything. It doesn't seem like a fucking good idea or a time to me, man.
Yeah.
Especially when you see so many people OD on it. When's the last time you see somebody OD on fucking weed?
Yeah, never.
You just don't, dude. You don't. I mean, so, and another thing always cracks me up is when somebody does OD, they're always like, well, they got a hold of some really bad shit. No, they didn't. They got a hold of some really, really good, clean shit, pure shit. And their body was like, couldn't handle it, man. That's why they OD.
Yeah.
A lot of times, whether it's heroin, coke, or whatever. So anyway, yeah, it just kind of, like I said, it just fucking really just blows me away. And it's a really strange track, too, especially when it, like, slows way the fuck down and you hear Phil doing his death talk, as I like to call it, or as my older brother calls it, and then it goes right into the previous killer riff without missing a fucking beat. Great fucking song. I dig Living Through Me. What about you, man?
I fucking love it. It's thrashy. It's like something that could have been on Vulgar or Far Beyond Driven. Easily could have been on one of those albums. It's got a killer groove. Like the rhythm section on this track, Vinny and Rex just have it down. Fucking amazing. Like that weird part in the middle with the whispers, and I don't know, is there like samples in it, or there's this sort of industrial metal.
I know, right, and it's very creepy and just
it's weird,
ethereal. It's just fucking it's like fucking just weird, man. But I dig it.
It just fucking rages then again after that part,
right.
And it's basically something just straight out of hell. I fucking love this.
Right, and that's why I'm saying, when I hear any of these, and a lot of them I think are just younger fucks that just don't know or understand, because you and DJ Kane are pretty close to the same age.
Yeah.
And now, see, with him, Pantera's in his DNA. I mean, literally, Cowboys from Hell came out in 1990. We're listening to that record when he was just a little kid, really.
Yeah.
He was about 3 years old, so he wasn't really a baby, but he was a very young child. So, Pantera's very much in his DNA, But I think people who don't know, like I hear some people, like, it's kind of like this, the popular thing or the cool thing now is to fucking, like, bash on Pantera or say they're overrated. And it just seems to me that most of the people that say that don't really know what the fuck they're talking about. They weren't there. They don't know, I mean, it just, and also I think, well, I got to be different. I got to show how fucking hardcore I am.
Yeah.
By hating on Pantera. And if I hear one more stupid motherfucker call Pantera mainstream, I'm gonna fucking curb stomp them. I mean, morons. Again, you're entitled to your opinion, but at least back it up with facts. Pantera have not, nor will they ever be mainstream. Yeah, they might play Cowboys from Hell at a sports stadium, a sporting event or whatever, but I got news for you. Nobody was listening to Pantera on the radio in 1990 whatever. They were not in the mainstream at all. Not fucking at all were they in the mainstream, okay? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're mainstream now when they've been around for 20 plus years, okay? But it wasn't mainstream in 1990 fucking 6. You didn't hear Suicide Note on the fucking radio, okay? I'm just telling you right now. So
absolutely.
Fucking shut up.
Yeah. I was actually lucky because I was there for Pantera. No, it was the tail end. I was, what age? I was 14, I think, when Reinventing the Steel came out. And it was like one of the bands that I really loved, metal bands that I anticipated and waited for the release of the new album. Bought it the day it came out. I was supposed to see them on the Reinventing tour, 2001, I think it was. But what happened was they actually got here, and I think the show was supposed to be on like the 12th of September.
But fucking 9/11.
Yep, 9/11 happened.
Motherfucker.
And they were actually stuck in Ireland for 6 days because, yourself, all the flights were grounded. But the shows were cancelled. So they were supposed to play with, I think it was Slayer. Yeah, it was Slayer. And the fucking show never went ahead, and the rest of that European tour was cancelled. So I lost my only chance to see them because, I mean, we all know what happened.
Man, Mac, breaking my fucking heart, dude. That's terrible.
I have the worst luck.
Fucking the luck of the Irish, man.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
People always forget that, that means fucking bad luck. Potato famine, okay? Just throwing that out there, man.
Yeah.
Just throwing that fucking out there, man. And I can say that because I have Irish blood in me. So, I mean, seriously, it's like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. How,
Like, that is
how unlucky was I?
That's a fucking terrible story, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
But
I just want to
I-
reach.
I,
I just
sorry,
want to
man.
reach through the Skype and give you a big fucking hug, man.
thanks.
Dude, that's terrible. Like,
Yep.
you're this close. They're in your country.
Yep.
And, god damn.
Yeah, they were stuck here for 6 days. I think the show was about 2 days after. Well, it was due 2 days after 9/11, but all that shit was fucking cancelled. Slayer, I think, did go on and play a few dates of that tour, but Pantera weren't. So it was mostly festivals and shit. But yeah, I was there
That
just at the tail end.
sucks, dude.
Yeah, it sucks major
so
donkey.
because of some fucking religious, fucking zealot, extremist pieces of shit,
Mm-hmm.
and a fucking psycho who decided years later to take Dimebag out on stage, it cost you your chance to see Pantera.
Yeah,
Motherfuck.
yeah.
I mean, I just want to break something.
And that's why I turned in to be a bitter old fuck.
Yeah, I can see why, man. I
Yeah.
can see fucking why.
Do you know, every
can
time
tot-
I think of that, I get that feeling in my stomach. You know, like if you're walking down the street and you're like, oh shit, where's my wallet? You know that your heart
Yeah.
sinks. Every time I think
Yeah.
of that missed opportunity, it's like, oh,
Dude, that hurts me, man. Like,
Yeah.
I'm crying for you right now. That's like fucking bullshit. The metal gods fucked you, dude. You got fucked.
yeah. I think I'm gonna
Got
get fucked
fucked,
soon again because of GNR and it being so close to my new baby coming. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Oh,
but-
I hope not, dude. I hope, man. I know how much you love that band. And
Yeah, but you know what? I'm just.
I'll be
glad
pulling for you, dude. So when's the concert, bro?
It's the 27th, so 10 days, and she's due on the 31st.
Oh man.
Yeah.
What if she comes right before though? Would you still be able to make it?
Well, my thinking is yeah, but I think she's thinking otherwise.
The baby.
Yeah, she's
You
thinking.
got to talk to this kid. You got to be like, look, kid.
You gotta fucking stay in there
this,
for a while.
You got to do this solid for daddy. Either fuck come out sometime this fucking next week, or come out after the goddamn concert. Man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, don't fuck. I mean, come on now. You know, come on. Like, you know,
It's bad
yeah,
enough
you already
Daddy
got
missed
fucked out of
Pantera.
Pantera. You don't need to miss GNR, man. Because I know you've been waiting. Fuck, probably all your life, dude.
Yeah,
Right?
most of my life. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what, brother? I'll be pulling for you, man.
Cheers.
Kid,
I appreciate that.
listen to your Uncle DJ Metal Mike now. Hear me, kid. Don't fuck up Dad's chance of seeing Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Just be cool. Just wait. Either wait in there and bake for a little while longer,
Yeah.
or come out a little early, man. So Dad, okay, the kid's here. I can go to Guns N' Roses with a clear and peaceful mind. I don't have to worry. I love you, honey. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Biggity bam. Just do your dad a solid,
Yeah,
kid.
fingers crossed.
All right.
But yeah, look, I'm thankful that in a way, because I am only 30. I'm thankful that I was, I had Pantera for that last couple of years, that they were a viable recording touring band. So when you compare it to other favorite bands of mine like Priest and Zeppelin and bands like that, I mean, I wasn't. Well, Priest I was, yeah, but they were, that was what, Ripper
Right.
era. I had no fucking interest in that, so they were basically dead to me. But
Yeah.
Pantera was
Yeah.
one band that was active at the time.
Yeah, I mean, and like you just mentioned, Ripper. No offense to Ripper, I think he's a talented vocalist, and I
Oh,
like
yeah. I
a
just
lot of
didn't
the
like
things
him
he's
in
done. I like a lot of the things he's done since he's left Priest. I mean, he's been in Iced Earth. He's done a lot of solos. So, guy's a very talented guy, and like he says, he has no bitterness because let's face it, without Priest, nobody knew who the fuck
Yeah.
Ripper Owens was. It gave him his career, like,
And they were his
literally,
favorite
like,
band.
Right, yeah. He even said, like, when they brought Rob back, I wasn't mad. I was, as a fan, I'm elated because it's my favorite band reuniting. He goes, and secondly, I just moved on to other things, and that I would not have ever been able to do. Like, he goes, I never would have been in Iced Earth if not for that gig in Juice. I would never have done a lot of the things that I've done. So, you know, I mean, Ripper ain't hurting, man. And like I said, I've enjoyed a lot of the stuff he's done aside from Priest. But to me, yeah, I mean, Judas Priest without Rob Halford, that's like Black Sabbath without Ozzy. I'm sorry, Dio fan. I love Ronnie, and I love that incarnation of Black Sabbath, but that's fucking heaven and hell. That's not Black. There's only one Black Sabbath, man. Yeah. And that's just the way. And to me, Black Sabbath without Ozzy or Judas Priest without fucking Rob Halford, it's like Christianity without Jesus Christ. It just don't work. Okay? You know, sorry, man. This is strong. That's how I fucking feel about it. Anyway, we're getting off the beat track, brother.
Yep. I'm going to Floods. You take it away, brother.
Oh, a beautiful masterpiece. I mean, I just love the acoustical intro that goes into that chuggy fucking guitar riff. I love Rex's bass lines on this track. And he says that this album, especially this song, he goes, the bass was all off the cuff. No rehearsal. They just fucking went in, started playing, and recorded, dude. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. He's like, they literally wrote that on the spot. I'm like, God damn. Phil's haunting vocals, and it's filled with they're just, his haunting vocals are just filled with pain and anguish. And I love his death talk again. It's fucking awesome, especially the line, then throughout the night they were raped and executed. Yeah. And with the double track in, it's so fucking amazing. And let's be honest, Dime's guitar solo is breathtaking. It's probably one of the reasons why it's ranked is his top guitar solo of all time. And then you have that chugging, galloping riff that just punches you in the fucking teeth. And then it just goes right back into the acoustical guitar. Then right before Dime's breathtaking solo, it's just a fucking masterpiece, man. And then it goes back into the chugging riffage, followed by the acoustical outro. It's just a goddamn classic, man. Yeah. Just a fucking instant, fucking just a great goddamn song, man.
Absolutely. Third single on the album, third and final single. I fucking love this song. It's my favourite song on the album. It's just
I can see
amazing.
why.
Yeah. It's, you know, it tells this morbid story of the state of mankind. Phil's voice on it is out of this world. It's haunting. The solo from Dime is amazing. Now, it's not the most technical in the world, but the melodies of it is what makes it. It's just fucking epic. Like, the song holds a really special place in my heart. It just reminds me of being, you know, a teenager, 13, 14, and being down with my friends during the summer break from school. You know, warm day, chilling out, you know, smoking cigarettes and joints down by the river, playing this on you know, a ghetto blaster, and just great times. And the outro, so fucking simple but so fucking effective. Fucking amazing song. Absolutely love Floods.
Yeah, it's just, you know, and dude, yeah, you could, I mean, yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It really is. It's really hard for me to say. Like, there's so many great gems on this. It's like, 1 minute I'll go, well, this is my favorite song. That's
I get that too.
Like I said, like, I think the thing, like earlier when I said Tens just for some reason has sentimental value to me, and I don't know what it is. Like, honestly, I think the guitar solo on this song's actually better than Tens, but the guitar solo on Tens just fucking, I don't know what it is. It's maybe the tone, that wah, it just fucking makes the neck on my the hairs on my neck just stand on end. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, Floods is just, again, a beautiful masterpiece. I mean, there's no other word for it, really. I mean, like you said, fucking, or like I also, goddamn classic. It's just fucking, yeah, phenomenal track, man.
Yeah, absolutely, fucking love that song. Possibly my favorite Pantera song ever. I don't know, I would have to think about that, but it's fucking up there.
Now, can I ask you a question? did you always feel this way, or is it
Always.
because you've been reading? Oh, okay.
Always.
I know you were
always, yeah.
I know you were kind of like, my least favorite Pantera album.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, man, check it out again. And then we just thought, well, hey, dude, why don't we just go ahead and do a review on it?
Yeah.
And
I've always
man, am I
liked this
glad
album.
I did.
Always liked this album. I'm not really sure why, but it was just always the one that I listened to the least. I'm obviously not saying it's shit or anything because I'm commenting all over it. But I don't know why. It has possibly my favourite song by Pantera on it. But I just always seem to listen to the others more. Don't know why.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think this record is one of those ones that's just kind of a, there's just something about it, dude. I don't know. Hold on, my computer is acting retarded. Hold on a minute. And yeah, Flood's amazing. So if you want to get back into it, let's do it, dude.
Yeah, awesome. Track 10, Underground in America. Catchy fucking riff. Goes into that long fucking fill scream. Vinny is just absolutely abusing those double bass drums. Another track, I think Rex is slightly too low in the mix. But look, it has that straightforward solo by Dime that I really like. And I love it, the end with the Phil screaming, "The trend is dead." I think that's fucking killer.
I know, dude. Yeah. I love that. The trend is over. The trend is dead. It's just
fucking killer.
It's like a battle cry. It really is. And basically you nailed it. I mean, I can't really add much more to what you said. I just think really the rhythm section is just amazing. I do think, though, it's something my brother mentioned when this album came out. He felt like the first three albums were just mixed perfectly and beautiful. Like you could make out what Rex was playing. And that's one of his complaints about Trendkill and even Reinventing the Steels. He feels like you can't really hear Rex like you can in the first three records.
Yeah.
And I definitely think my brother might have a point with that, because you just mentioned this. So I'm like, okay, well, Dave's not alone, so therefore there must be something to that. You know what I mean? Because you've said that like I think twice now about at least two different tracks.
Yeah.
And it's pretty crazy. But anyway, man, I love the Underground America. I also love the whole stand, because it's basically talking about the hardcore punk rock and metal movements of the 80s and 90s, and it was just what a great time it was to be around that and everything, and to feel like you belong to something bigger, and that's what I love about it. Like I said, just the trend is fucking over, like it's done. Yep. And then it goes into track 11.
Yep.
Sandblasted Skin. Which in my opinion, perfect final track, really. Just ferociously heavy, that doesn't fuck around. Phil's lyrics basically telling posers and trendoids to fucking sandblast themselves to oblivion. I fucking love it. Love the fade out where you think the record is done, and then a minute later it fades right back in. Just a great track, man. I thought it was a damn good way to close the album. Quite honestly, I think this album is Pantera's kind of an unsung masterpiece. And I think part of the problem, though, dude, where do you go when you put out three phenomenal albums? I mean, you go from Cowboys from Hell to fucking Vulgar Display of Power, and then Far Beyond Driven, you hit number one on the. Where do you go from there? And I think what was really cool about these guys is they decided, well, you know what, fuck it, man. We're going to get a little experimental. We're going to try different things. But what was cool about this record is it was still Pantera. Like, when you hear it, you recognize the Pantera sound. You recognize the things that make it Pantera. You know what I mean? Like, where unlike a band like Kiss with Music from the Elder, that record was such a fucking departure from anything Kiss had ever done. That, it was just really a disjointed, fucked up record. And I don't want to get in the Kiss vortex, is our esteemed, my partner in crime, co-owner, and esteemed founder, Scott Green, always says. But goddamn, dude, I mean, this is experimentation done right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this was... there was, when I believe the Rock and Metal Combat podcast, when they had, what's his name? The guy that's, he's in, I think he has that Pantera Facebook page where he's been trying to, basically petition. Yes. He's
Pantera
been trying
Project.
the Pantera Project, where he's trying to, basically get Vinny to kind of come around and, hey, why don't you get back together, and then we'll get Zach. And I don't know. I kind of have mixed feelings about that. It would be great, I think, just for them to have closure on a personal level between Phil and Vinny.
Yeah.
I know Phil has tried to make amends with him more than once. He even told Vinny in an email or letter, dude, if it takes you just beating the fuck out of me, I'll let you do it. Yeah. As long as we can sit down and talk about it afterwards, Yeah. And unfortunately, I think Vinny, to a certain extent, kind of blames Phil. I think he feels if you hadn't have fucked up and gotten all strung out, then me and my brother wouldn't have had to start all over and been in the clubs and been in that position for him to get killed. I kind of get that, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, dude, Phil had nothing to do with your brother getting killed. That guy was targeting the whole band. From what I understand, and I could be wrong about this, but I heard he actually had targeted Damage Plan in Cincinnati, and he'd also targeted Down at one point in time, but he couldn't get to him. Yeah. So it could have been any member of Pantera.
Yeah.
It just was fucking horrible. It's a horrible, horrible thing. I mean, what happened was just fucking horrible on so many levels. Was it horrible? It was horrible for the people that went to the show, because people have to understand it wasn't just Dime that got killed.
There's 3 other people, wasn't it?
Oh my God, there was a couple people in the audience. There was some of their road crew. It was fucking awful. I mean, here you got people who are trying to go to a fucking show and fucking rock out, and you got some fucking weirdo fuck who honestly just needed help. I mean, like, I want to know who was his, like, did anybody not be like, hey man, this motherfucker needs to be, like, we need, like, no interventions, nobody fucking, I mean, that guy obviously needed to be in an institutionalized or committed. He needed help. I mean, obviously, and it just seems to me that it was like they just fucking let him go on his fucking merry way, I guess. And here we are, How many lives fucking destroyed because of that? And I think that if they could get past that, and I'm sure Zach could play Dimebag's parts, but my thing is, I wouldn't want them to call it Pantera. Yeah. It's not Pantera without Dimebag. If they want to call it something else, they want to call themselves Domination, a tribute to Pantera, like a tribute to Dime. I don't have a problem with that, but I would love to see those guys get back together with Zach, but I would rather they call themselves something else. Yeah, that's just
Cowboys from Hell. Even
or anything, that would work. Cowboys from Hell or whatever it would, I mean, to me that would be, the way to go. But I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Yeah,
I think Vinny is a very stubborn person, and I'm not going to judge the guy. I mean, the poor guy saw his fucking brother get shot in front of him. I would be devastated if something happened.
Yeah.
So like that, and it's just a really sad, tragic thing. But the point I was going to make, though, is Kirsten. He had said something about this album being Pantera's Sabotage. He compared it to the 1975 album Sabotage by Black Sabbath. And quite honestly, Mac, I can see a valid comparison because Sabotage, very experimental record for Sabbath.
Yep, very.
But a great album.
Yep.
Nonetheless. And I think this kind of does fit in that like Phil said, I think it is a dark horse of a record, but man, I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. My least favorite Pantera album, believe it or not, is Reinventing the Steel, and I love that record too. That's no slight on that record, but to me, I prefer Trendkill.
Yeah.
I think the thing with Pantera is when they did Reinventing the Steel, I felt like they were kind of maybe And we'll never know because of what happened. But I was afraid maybe they were going to get kind of stuck in a rut and everything was going to start sounding the same, kind of like the AC/DC.
Yeah.
You know, and I think Phil was concerned about that. You know, a lot of people think that, you know, all he wanted was time apart, but he also said he wanted to take time apart just so they could, like, go and explore different things and get their musical juices back and then get back together.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that, unfortunately, it didn't happen. There was a lot of, you know, hard feelings and shit. And it's just one of those things. But what a great album. What a great band. And long live Pantera, man.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely, yeah. Look, I mean, on the closing track there's not much more I can say that you haven't. I think it's a great closer. Cool intro, courtesy of Vinny and Rex. Just fucking a great heavy closer. Love it. Fucking killer album. What many tracks? 11 tracks. I don't want to say it's 10 out of 11 for me because I'm not gonna. I don't hate Suicide Note Part 1. It's a great fucking album. I'm sure you'll agree. But one thing I didn't touch on was produced by Terry Date and Vinnie Paul, and once again released May 7th, 1996. So that is our review of Pantera's The Great Southern Trendkill. Great suggestion, Mike. I fucking really enjoyed delving back into this record. And
me too, dude. Me too. I've been listening to it for the last few days, and even I kind of forgotten just how great this record is, you know. Yeah. And I know when I get back on the air here, I'm gonna fucking play some cuts off this gem because it's just a killer fucking record, man. From pretty much from beginning to end. Like you said, Suicide Note Part 1's the weakest track on the album, and even it's halfway fucking cool, you know? It's like, there's no, like, real filler on this record like you have with some albums by bands. I mean, it just goes to show you just how great of a band Pantera truly were, man. I mean, they just, man, they were like fucking this unstoppable force. It was like, they really were to the 90s what, in my opinion, Sabbath was to the 70s. What
innovators.
Just total innovators, man. They changed the game. And, you know, I know some people want to hate on them because, they started some of these, you know, they influenced some of these new shitty bands. Well, you know what? So did Metallica, so did Slayer. So, you know, it's ignorant. That's like fucking blaming Van Halen for the West Coast fucking glam metal scene. Mm-hmm. Oh, because of Van Halen, we got Warrant. Well, okay, you can be that. So I should hate Van Halen. Well, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You're you know, that's, I'm not going to say that. You're not an idiot. Let me revise that. That's foolish. That's just silly. It's just silly to look at it that way. I mean, it's like, that just doesn't make any sense to me at all. Another thing I wanted to point out, which isn't Pantera related, but I think it definitely bears mentioning, because I did mention him earlier. And again, I wanted to throw out that when I said about Black Sabbath about Ozzy, I love Ronnie James Dio, and it's been 7 years ago that he passed away today.
Yeah.
So, you know, rest in peace, Ronnie James Dio. I love Dio. I love Rainbow. I love the shit he did with Sabbath. And I loved the only thing that the album I didn't really care for was Live Evil, and that's only because, again, to me it was weird to hear Dio sing the old Ozzy songs.
Yeah,
I mean, to me it was just as strange if I'd heard Ozzy try to sing over Neon Nights. It just you know, I mean, let's be honest. People always want to compare Ozzy and Dio, and to me, the only thing that's similar about them is they're both vocalists they both fronted for Tony Iommi, and they're both, you know, hard rock, heavy metal vocalists. That's it. They are totally different. They're nothing alike at all. Stage presence, vocal styling, both great in their own right, though. I mean, I want people to realize I love Ronnie James Dio. I think he's fucking phenomenal, man. I mean, Stargazer is one of my all-time favorite songs. It's an absolute fucking masterpiece. Yeah. It's like a perfect metal song. I love Rainbow, and I loved Dio when he went out on his own. Those first 3 or 4 Dio albums, man, are just masterpieces. I mean, Ronnie was lucky enough to find for him, a guitar. I mean, to me, Vivian Campbell was to him what Randy was to Ozzy. It was just magic. It was just fucking magic, man. And
it's just a shame that Vivian ended up in modern day Def Leppard. Such a waste.
Def Leppard. Don't even get me started on that rant. You know what? Fuck it. Can I go on that rant, man?
Go for it.
Look, I love the first 3 Def Leppard albums. Love them, man. But I tuned out after Pyromania. Now, I love Pyromania, don't get me wrong. I know some people wanted to bag on that record. I'm like, are you kidding me, man? That was a great record, man. Where they lost me with Hysteria. And I know part of the reason why they have the sound they had is because they were loyal to their boy, and they fucking kept him on after he fucking lost his arm. I commend them for that.
Yeah,
it's very honorable. I totally commend them, but god damn, it sucks. Def Leppard, Hysteria sucks, and everything they did afterwards sucks. It's like this techno pop metal bullshit. It's not even really metal. No. It just totally changed the sound of the band. Yeah, it was like it was like Def Leppard with no balls. It's no wonder the girls loved it. I mean, you know, I'm sorry, man, but I'm the first 3 albums Def Leppard fan.
Yeah, I'm the same.
On Through the Night, fucking High and Dry, and goddamn fucking Pyromania were great records. After that, man, I tuned out. I don't understand why. You know, there's some people that just love post Pyromania, and I'm like, I don't get it. I don't. Again, though, it's all opinions, you know. And I try to understand that. Okay, well, maybe some of these guys came on later, so Hysteria or Adrenalize, that's their Def Leppard. But I'm like, it doesn't compare. It's kind of like comparing Load to fucking Master of Puppets.
Yeah, same thing.
Come on, man. I got in a debate on the Facebook page. I think it was Bill's. I can't remember what it was. I think it was Bill Wayne's. It was one of where somebody posted up a thing about the Black Album, and they asked my thoughts. I said, blatant fucking sellout.
Yeah.
And this dude got all fucking butthurt and basically said me calling it a sellout was a lame criticism for something I didn't like. So I'm like, oh, you're going to throw down the gauntlet, huh, buddy? All right. So I fucking wrote, dude, it was like several paragraphs wrong. I just wrote this rant, basically. Basically, it wasn't even a rant. It was just long and wordy. But basically, point by point, why it was a fucking shameless sellout. Why, you know, because he tried to compare Bob Rock to fucking Bob Ezrin, dude.
Oh, Christ.
And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You're going to compare Bob fucking Rock? You know what Bob Rock was? Bob Rock's the Vinnie Poncia of the 80s. Okay, motherfucker, he's not Bob Ezrin. Yeah. Bob Ezrin produced some of the greatest rock albums, heavy rock, hard rock, psychedelic, you know, I mean, fucking Pink Floyd, The Wall, Alice Cooper, Kiss Destroyer. Fuck off.
Yeah, right? You can't compare the two.
You know, because he was like trying to say, well, Destroyer's what broke Kiss and took him to the next level. No, it wasn't, dude. It was Alive. Alive is what broke Kiss and took him to that next level. Yeah, Destroyer helped. No doubt about that. But you're going to sit there and compare Destroyer and the Black Album? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? No, you're wrong. Yeah, it's maybe as far as levels of success, I mean, but as far as music quality, I'll take Destroyer over fucking the Black Album any day of the week. Twice on motherfucking Sunday. I'm sorry, but, you know, and basically he also said that you know, what were they supposed to do? Play 1,000 miles an hour every song? You know, they evolved and blah, 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 blah. And that it was progressed. It was a progression. The Black Album was a progression. So I just basically counterpointed everything. I said, well, number one, comparing these two guys is... I listed Bob Ezrin's credits and I listed Bob Rock's credits. I said, the comparison's just ridiculous. Yeah. So, you know, that's out there right now. I said, you know, that's kind of an insult to Bob Ezrin. I said, secondly, you're saying it's a progression. Well, my definition of progress is that things get better. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to sit there and tell me that the Black Album is better than Master of Puppets, then you know what? You and I are on different fucking spectrums of the Metallica fan base. And if so, that's okay. That's all right, you know.
Yep.
You're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to mine, and no opinion is more or less valid than the other. I realize the Black Album sold about a gazillion copies. I realize that my opinion is in the minority. I get that, but that doesn't make my opinion any less valid than yours. When people always they sold a lot of records. Well, Britney Spears sold a lot of records. Does that mean it's great music? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Britney Spears was eye candy, okay? That's what Britney Spears was. She's not... I'm sorry, man. I mean, Dr. Feelgood, was that a great album? No, but it sold 6 million copies.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So again, that argument sometimes to make is, I just basically just counterpointed his ass. I mean, hardcore, I just told him, hey, man, if that's how you feel, go with God, but for me, yeah, it was a sellout. I don't give a fuck what you say. You might like it. I know people do. My best friend, my buddy Zach, loves the Black Album, but even he'll concede it was a sellout.
Yeah,
it was. I mean, there's no fucking
was, yeah.
to that. Yeah, and then he's like, "Nice rant, Mike. Too bad it isn't very useful." And I went, "Rant? Well, I'll admit I get a bit wordy sometimes. I wouldn't call it a rant." I said, "What does that even mean? That that it wasn't very useful? You're trying to say that your opinion is more useful than mine?" Is that what you're saying? Because if you are, that kind of makes you an arrogant fucktard.
Yeah.
I go, what's the big deal? You think the Black Album is the greatest thing Metallica ever did, and I think it's absolutely sucks shit through a straw. Who cares? And I'll never forget, man, Ian Wadley followed up with Metal Mike has spoken. But, I mean, I was just like, dude, seriously, you could just tell, though, he got butthurt because I ripped on the Black Album, and he loves it. That's your opinion, dude. And, it's not like I went on a page or somebody else's page where they were praising this record and, I love this record. And I went on there and said, well, Black Album sucks.
Yeah,
I didn't
you
do
didn't
that.
just go and shit all over it.
Motherfucker asked my opinion and I gave it.
Yeah.
And then this motherfucker comes along and wants to fucking call me out or whatever. Well, whatever. Fuckhead. I don't care. You're entitled to your opinion, but when you tell me that my criticism is lame, or, to me, I just felt like you were kind of attacking me just because I said something you didn't agree with.
Yeah.
And then when you said, well, you're nice rant, too bad it's not very useful. Well, what does that even mean, dude? Like, what are you trying to say there? I don't quite see what you're saying there. It just doesn't make it a lot of sense to me. It's like what? Well, I guess your grants and your opinions are more useful than mine. And I'm using air quotations. Because he looks like that he'd be that kind of douchebag that would do stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Absolutely.
I'm off my rant.
Awesome. Love your rants. Well, I suppose that concludes another episode. Killer fucking review. Really enjoyed doing it. Pantera. The Great Southern Trendkill. And speaking of Facebook, check us out on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Mind Over Metal Podcast. Check us out on Twitter at Mind Over Metal PO. Check out the website, mindovermetalpodcast.com. You'll find us on iTunes, Spreaker, Podbean, Mike, what else? SoundCloud, Podcast Addict. We're fucking everywhere. We're like a
everywhere.
rash
We're like a
cock.
fucking virus.
Yeah.
We are a fucking virus. We're VD, man.
Yeah.
We're fucking taking over.
We're like
right?
that fucking what do you call that ransomware shit that's just gone rampant around the globe.
Right.
That's us.
And then we got a variant virus known as that metal station.
Absolutely. Check Metal Mike show out Fridays at
7 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, and the Mind Over Metal live show is on Wednesdays 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check it out, thatmetalstation.com.
Which is a great show.
Thank you.
You're welcome, my friend.
So, look, that's the end of another episode. I suppose we haven't fucking clue what we're going to cover next week, but we'll let you guys know on the Facebook page during the week. But until next week, from myself, Mac, and DJ Metal Mike, it's good night.
Hey, this is Dr. Fuck,
And this is the Ayatollah of Alcohola.
and we demand you to watch Big Bushy Power Hour. Or is it Bushy Face? I know it's not Big Pussy. He doesn't like that.
And I think it's the Big Pussy Bushy Poison Power Hour.
Poison Power?
Yeah, with 3 hours of poison. Or 2 hours of poison and 1 of San Diego.
But don't hold that against them. Tune in.
Or fuck off.
Thank you. Every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, get your rocks off with the Big Bushy Face Power Hour.
Every Sunday, catch the second edition of DJ Kane's Crusader of Metal. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on thatmetalstation.com. Tearing the metal apart every Sunday for you.
Open your mind.
Up here in space, I'm looking down on you.
Open your mind.
But now I'm safe in the isle of tornado.
Open your mind.
Open Your Mind with Max Mind Over Metal. Every Wednesday, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Specializing in traditional metal, new wave of British heavy metal, thrash metal, and a pinch of glam. Only on thatmetalstation.com.
There's a madman in the corner of your eye. He likes to pry into your sunlight.
Catch the DJ Metal Mike Show, Friday night edition. That's right, all new time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on thatmetalstation.com. DJ Metal Mike bringing you the best in metal. Man, you better be there.
Hey, it's me, Dr. Fuck, and I'm here to talk about the Wadzilla Rock Show that airs here at 11 a.m. Eastern every Saturday, only here on thatmetalstation.com. Tune in or fuck off. Hey, headbangers, you want your own radio show? Well, you got it. On Thursday nights here on That Metal Station, join me on the Dr. Fuck Show. Go in the chat room and I will make you my co-host. That's right. Everybody that joins me in the chat room, I discuss whatever you guys want to talk about. I'll mention your name, I'll say what you say, and we're going to go back and forth. And I'll even fucking play whatever request you want. Unless it sucks, then I ain't playing it because my show rules. And only songs that rule is allowed right here on That Metal Station. The Dr. Fuck Show airs live Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. Then they repeat it on Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there. Well, no, fuck that hope. I better see you there, motherfucker. Hey, I'm Dr. Fuck.
And I'm the Ayatollah of Alcohola.
And we are from the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast.
If you want to check out some crazy, uncensored, unbiased, totally nuts reviews of classic hard rock and heavy metal albums, check us out. You can get us on Podbean and iTunes. New episodes every Sunday.
That's right. And we also do each other's moms.
True. Free of charge.
Well, mine charges.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, mine's free.